Are we
Okay, slander. Lies and slander. We won't have any of it. Slander. Lies and slander. Right. Okay. We should be live and audible now. Lies and slander. Right. Okay. Sam was not invited to co-host the teaching seminar.
I think I say he wasn't invited to attend.
His views do not represent those of Out of Your League.
Oh no, they say audio and double. What does that mean?
That might be better.
Typical audio and double. That's classic you.
We're just trying to make this stream as much of a farce as possible, really.
How many of you are there?
Okay, that should be better when it catches up.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
should.
is. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, we're still going.
Every now and again there's a typo, so I know that he's writing it for himself. He's not copied and pasted it from a Reddit thread.
It will soon be a Reddit thread.
She scanned each bar and put them in a bag and started to say the first you go to yawning really loudly.
Jesus Christ. Right.
He's got my number in, I like it.
Sam, bring this preliminary tale to an end. Dom has Pokemon wisdom to impart. Yeah, I know it's a true story, but this isn't the forum.
This is not the time or the place.
Right. Can you guys hear us both relatively equally? Or not equally?
We're using the onboard mic on the laptop, so let us know what the quality's like. So it ain't getting any better.
He's finished. The internet where we are is also too bad for us to afford webcam in terms of, bit rate and stuff. You both sound beautiful. Sam's done. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
You've served your purpose of keeping everyone entertained.
Yeah. Ouch. That's harsh, John.
John already knows everything.
Yeah, this is not at you, old hands. How many new people have we got in the attendance in the chat? I was going to ask.
We have 10.
Is it just Tanya? Does everyone else know what they're talking about?
Move the laptop to a closet for dank acoustics.
Ray's already in the closet.
Hey. I'm going to try and pin this chat window to the top. Would that be okay?
That'd be fun.
And then it will
But what,
stick
then it
around
won't-
and we can monitor it.
Oh, that's cool.
That should now. Yeah, great.
So I can do anything I like underneath.
You can way.
They won't know.
Yes, you can. Right. So this is yeah. So the reason I said, "Can you hear us equally?" and then said maybe it doesn't matter, is that Dom's made it very explicit that I'm playing a subordinate role in tonight's endeavour.
You're my TA. You're my teaching assistant.
Yeah.
But I'm holding this class. You held the theory, and I'm going to do the practical.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to it.
No touching.
But one question. Of who? What, you as a TA or them as kids? What joke were you going for there?
I don't know.
Disgusting. Hi, Tanya. It's good. Right, we've got one newbie. We could do some more.
Chris. Oh, Chris.
That's true. We've got Web as well. So that's two.
You know what? Does that...
Fuck.
The Ofsted inspector.
Oh, God, he will
That's
do, won't he?
the Ofsted inspector. Cue applause. Yeah.
Well, seeing as you bring that up, Ed and the old hands, because you've got no, it's I'm pointing as if they can see.
They can't see.
They can't, but I'm pointing at you.
Dom points at the camera.
No, I'm not. I'm pointing at you.
Dom points at Ray.
You've got more content to come. Now, I don't want me nor the old hands in the chat to tread on toes there.
No, that's
We'll run into those concepts and I'll give a very sort of overview, but I won't go into as much depth, and I don't want you. I know you'll have to resist because you'll want to as well. Ed, I'm sure will want to. I don't want to lead them down the wrong path, but I don't want to lead them into rabbit hole either.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should deliberately withhold material if it becomes.
I started shy away from it, but I'm gonna just give a very brief description, enough to get us past it so we can move on.
Yeah, but this is your baby. So we talked about I was going to do my videos, and JP's very naively volunteered to edit them. Doesn't quite know what he's got himself in for, but thank you, JP. We'll talk. We'll talk rates. Yeah, so I'm doing that kind of thing, and you said I'd rather just, be able to vomit my brain onto them.
I can't do a script. So if you want my help, I have to do it this way. It's this way or no way. No, this is an old YouTuber who I used to watch. He's not that old, but I used to watch him many, many years ago. This was how he built teams. And when you asked the question, old people, how did you learn the game? I want to find a way of teaching the newbies.
Yeah.
This was what I thought. This probably taught me the most.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Sam. Thank you for your contribution. Say hi to the honeys.
He's got lots of honeys to bonk.
Yeah, that's great.
That almost didn't sound bitter at all. That was very well done.
What does his girlfriend think of that? I was wondering. Yeah, so my point is, this is the way I learn, and I think it's the most accessible because I'm pretty simple. So I like to think that if I can understand it this way, then so can everyone else. I'm a season 1 champion, so proof's in the pudding, really, isn't it?
I was just about to bring that up, which
Go
would have. Well, no, I was going to say that would have been, it then saved you from blowing your own trumpet. I was about to step in and blow your trumpet for you, but now you've done it. And
So you said this would happen.
So you now look kind of washed up and desperate, whereas if I'd brought that up, it might have been quite elegant, but that's fine.
Amazing. 25% chance of success.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
No, well, this does kind of build on what I said in my preliminary video. Actually, maybe I haven't said it yet. No, I'm going to say it in my real episode 1, but it's been episode 2 is the only one that's gone up.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that it's not as Pokemon's not as difficult as it can appear.
No, it's not.
I think that when you know the core skills, when you know how to fish, you then just have to vary what size rod you bring. I don't know anything about fishing. This is a poor choice of analogy.
Filthy.
But you learn the corporate. Guess it is, says Webb. No, Chris, we're trying to change that image.
I think this is the easiest way for me, because rather than trying to concentrate on, or what we're a number on now, Ed will tell me 500 or so Pokemon. You concentrate on one, and then you go from that one to another one, and then you go from there to another one, and you don't have to know. Each time you're working with a very filtered down list in this particular way of doing things. This might be very similar to the way that people going 808. Jesus Christ! Oh, you're talking about the new Galar ones. Even if you're not, that's too much. Catfishing is easy. Catfishing's a different scale.
Does Handsome John need to catfish when he's as handsome as he is?
That's how he's so good at catfishing. 808 is before Galar. Jesus Christ.
There's a pleasing symmetry to that number.
808's and heartbreak.
But anyway, but my point is that you don't need to know, as we've proven time and again by being corrected by Ed, we don't know all the nitty gritty stuff.
And Ed hasn't won a season yet, so he knows all the nitty gritty stuff. But is it helping him?
Where's your brain now, nerd?
Anyway, sorry, Ed, just to drop you in it. The point is,
808 is my Twitch handle, says Webb.
That's fine. It can be.
It's because he inadvertently. Has he told you this story?
No, what's he done? Meant to write Bob in Leet speak.
No, his Twitch name was like Bad Weather 88, and apparently 88 is like secret Nazi code for the eighth letter of the alphabet, H. 88 means HH, Hail Hitler.
So you can't write 88 in any context.
Well, not without
Online.
people tuning into your stream and saying, yeah.
Oh, what?
Kill the Jews.
Oh, okay. Twitch will let you have it, but
oh yeah. No, it's fine. It's just you attract the wrong sort of crowd who's say I don't know what they say to each other, but
that's ridiculous.
Anyway, that's the story Webb told me.
So Webb's a secret racist, but anyone else? What else are we talking about? I'm waffling because I don't know how long to wait before we just kick off.
I think kick off. Let's dive in. Let's kick off because you're going to do a few examples, aren't you? And do some little follow on for people at home. You're going to make this a practical exercise. I'm your teaching assistant for this. I said this is your project.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure you have enough PVA glue.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand out the scissors.
Please do.
I'm going to, if
anybody starts to cry, then
I'll be right there.
Pick them up, and if anybody gets rowdy, if Sam comes back, we just take him into his little room.
Take him to the naughty step.
He can be quiet for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but this is Let's dive in. I think team building.
So team building guide. Team building a practical guide.
A la Dom.
Dom style. I would always start by picking one Pokemon, which is your star player. He's the guy you're going to build everything around, which is nice and easy. I would recommend that every single person, old and new alike, if you want to build along with me, that's just the way I'm going to do it. Pick one. I personally am going to hit Bulbapedia and hit Randomize. It's on Salamence, but that's not necessarily who I'm going to pick. I'm going to just pick whatever it comes out. I'm gonna pick whichever fully evolved one is there.
You can pick a random Pokemon, can you?
We could do random page on Bulbapedia, and then that's
but
what
right.
whatever it spits
I might
out.
give you a Persimberry. Oh, look, there we go.
What is it picked?
It's the 37th chapter of
Pikachu.
Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all manga. I think there are far more pages than there are Pokemon. The picture is so fuzzy.
Milotic's popped up there.
Well, you know what, Tanya?
That's
not
not
everyone
good.
has working internet, okay? Some of us...
The picture is so fuzzy. You haven't got to worry about the picture so much. My suggestion is that you go to Showdown on your own browser while you're doing this, rather than watch me. I'm going to announce everything I do. I don't want you to pick Milotic. I'm going to. Our internet's so poor that you won't necessarily be able to see everything I do, but it's more the concept.
Paste the Showdown link.
Oh, I can do. Yeah, look, this is the link for you.
Oh.
We are broadcasting, I believe, at 720, but a really rubbish bit rate, so that the mouse will lag and anything I type will lag. But the picture, should it be clear, it just shouldn't be very...
Should we hide the mouse then if it's going to lag?
Fluid. Oh, you could do, yeah.
I only showed the mouse because I thought we might want to point to things with it. But if it's just going to lag, there's
makes sense.
No point.
It makes sense. So I'm picking Milotic. So again, you mentioned things about the what do you call it, competitive tiers and things like that. I'm ignoring them entirely for this.
What a maverick.
I suggest everybody do the same. We're not in draft conditions right now. There's not a limited pool. We're picking from anything there is in the world.
Yeah, so this is just to kind of, before we dive in too much, I know I kept saying
watch it, TA.
I think what Mr. Gray wants to say is that our learning objectives in this particular piece of work are: you're going to show us how you can take one Pokemon, a favorite, or in a draft something good that you get your mitts on, and say, right, now that I've got this Milotic, I can now build 2 or 3 or 4 Pokemon. I can build outwards from it. That's what you're going to show us.
It's going to be a team of 6, yeah.
So, newbies in the chat. I'm just repeating what you're saying, but loud, because
I gabbled it.
You didn't gabble it. You were saying a lot. So I just want to make sure that people who want to follow on are following on. Bottom up team building rather than top down, says Ed. You keep your bottom to yourself, Ed. But yeah, this is Dom. Yeah, this is Dom style, and I think for draft it's a really good skill to learn, because I know Ed loves his themed teams. He loves to say, I'm doing Trick Room this season, I'm doing Sandstorm. In draft, things go. You don't have the luxury, really, of saying...
we're talking about people that haven't got knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you how you can take one thing, and I'm not... this is not prescriptive. I'm not saying when you have a Milotic, you should always have X, Y, and Z with it. The aim with this is to be able to identify for yourself what can work.
Yeah.
Because there's 100 different variations. There's, even in a good team can be made up of 40 or 50 different variations of a good Milotic team. We're going to make a variation on one of those.
Yeah.
And we're just not going to worry about, which ones we get in a draft format. It's just we pick from nothing.
Yeah.
So
what I was going to say is, new players who want to kind of make this a practical learning experience, pick a Pokemon you like. Pick your favorite Pokemon, as long as it's kind of fully evolved. Tell us in the chat what it is, and we'll sort of build teams in parallel.
Ed, be quiet, or I shall have the TA take you out. Tanya, don't worry about it.
So Ed takes a different approach to building his teams, kind of conceptually. He's talking about there are broadly kind of offensive teams, defensive teams, and in the middle, like with a football side, right? He said, floundering.
Right, particularly offensive.
You might play an attacking game, you might play a defending game. I don't know. Football's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, but this team will have elements of everything, because you should have 1 or 2 offensive things, 1 or 2 defensive things, and 1 or 2, utility things to make up the difference.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's not necessary.
We're embracing Dom's bottom up. Bottom down? No, you can't go down from the bottom.
No.
We're embracing Dom's bottom up team building strategy here. But newbies, if you want to choose a Pokemon you really like, we'll kind of help you build a team around it the same way Dom is building around Milotic, and we'll show you those skills.
Exactly.
And if you want to holler in the chat so we know what you're picking and we can kind of nudge you and help out,
Yeah, let us know what you picked, Tanya, and Web. I think it's just you two. If there are more, please say. Charizard, great shout. Okay, Charizard's great shout. Who Web picked?
Well, let's we'll let Webb pick someone you think you know.
Good man. Starmie it is.
Starmie and Charizard. OG. Okay, Dom. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure
No, that's
everyone
fine.
knew what you wanted from them.
So maybe I should change my. Maybe you know what? I'm going to go back to Salamence. Because they
Okay.
both picked offensive mons, so let me pick offensive mons, and then it'll be a bit
Okay.
more. Bit more thing. So start off. You see the stats box on Showdown. This is the easiest thing I think because your video was talking about which roles they pick, and this I think is the best way of showing what role can this Pokemon do.
Yep.
I click it and it's already highlighted for me, green to yellow or green to red if it's really atrocious.
Yeah.
Exactly as you said. I'll hold my hands up. 100 is in yellow, right? That's a medium. But if you reckon it's a good number, fine, we'll go for that.
I think 100 in a stat is very good.
There we are.
Anything over, great.
But the point, so these stats indicate to me which role they can play.
Yeah.
And based on what role this one takes me, so I haven't got to go looking for it later on. So I'll first of all, I've picked Salamence here. I can see the highest attack, the highest stat is attack and 135. That's fantastic. Then I've got some choices. I could do the mixed wall breaking one, like you said, because I've got 2 offensive stats that are very, very powerful. But I'm probably just going to go speed. Maybe this would be my revenge killer. So I might add a choice scarf to it to make sure it goes extra quick. Don't worry about items. Just go for it. So this would be my offensive Salamence's job's going to be to take out as many people as possible.
Kill them dead.
Near the end of the game.
Sorry, JP. KO them.
We knock them out. To be fatal.
They're fine.
Broadly, Starmie and Charizard will want to do the same because they both have similar sort of niches and roles. So our aim here is to find team members that can support Salamence in this endeavor. So what does Salamence want if he's going to be knocking out many things in a go? He wants to be faster than all of them. So either I give him an item to make him faster or I slow down the opponent.
Okay.
And ideally he should not be having to take people down from full health. They should already be weakened in some way.
Yep.
Those are the things we bear in mind in the back of our heads. Very first of all, we just look at types and how to mitigate any weaknesses that our type might have. So I'm going to go to Cerebi. I know we actually were going to use Bubblepedia for this, aren't we? That's why we were on Salamence in the first place.
You can ping the chat down.
Can I just ping
You can minimize, yeah. It will stick on the top if it's active.
Oh, cool. So I'm going down to the bottom, where my weaknesses are. I'll bring your chat back up just in case you're saying anything. That's fine. So now I have an idea of I'm weak to rock, ice 4 times, dragon twice, and fairy twice. So the big one that I'm scared of is ice as Salamence. So I've got to look for something that resists ice. Now, this is the bit where we talk about how if you're an old hand, you just know off the top of your head, as you did in your video, which one resists ice. But you haven't got to. If you don't know, that's what things like Bubblepedia are here for. So I click into the one that I'm most scared of. In this case, it's the 4 times one. I'm going to go into ice, and I'm going to see what defensive types and what offensive types. So I can see that ice types are very good against dragon, flying, grass, and ground. So I don't want to pick any of those types because I'm just going to be making more weakness
Doubling
later
your
on.
weakness. Yep.
So I don't want to pick any grass types or ground types. I do want to pick one of these types. This is the ones that resist ice. So I can pick a fire type, another ice type myself, a steel type, or a water type. So again, assuming I know nothing and don't know what off the top of my head a good fire type or steel type is, I can type those into Showdown. So if I'm going to go here to my second Pokemon, whatever it may be, steel. First of all, it shows you them. I don't actually know how it ranks them. I'm just going to say I want someone to protect Salamence from a bulk standpoint. So I'm just going to click HP. Pick which is the bulkiest steel type I can find.
So we now have all steel types in the game ranked by HP.
All steel types ranked, so I don't need to know any of them. I can just look. I've already identified from Bulbapedia that it's steel that I want. I could have picked fire as well, but I picked steel. I'm just going to look for bulk because I want someone to come in when Salamence is threatened. I want someone to protect him. So as I'm scrolling down, as we've said, I mean, there's the godlike ones up here with 137. That's insane. We don't need anything like that. Anything sort of 80 and above would be fine. So Registeel's a good one, I can see. 80, 150, 150. That's covering all my defenses that way. Metagross might be a good one. We've got 80, 130. So physical defense, maybe we go Metagross. Let's go Metagross. So there I've got Salamence and Metagross. And what I'm going to do now is double check to see if they share any weaknesses. So I know that Salamence is weak to Dragon, Ice, Fairy, and Rock.
Yep.
So I'm going to double check that Metagross isn't weak to any of these things.
Oh, he's going to give you this Maryland team builder or equivalent.
Oh, the Maryland one?
That is also worth having.
That is worth having. So does my Excel document, but I didn't want to scare people off with the Excel document. So I'm going to Metagross. I suggest the newbies pick whatever second mon they've picked. If you want to, just tap out and follow me, that's also fine. Because I figure we might do one or two of these.
We'll do a couple. Well, we can always take, if there aren't many people watching,
just take their one and we'll do it with them. So here's my base stats. That's not what I was looking for here. So I have a lot of resistances. Go away, chat. Of which Ice, Dragon, Fairy, and Rock, all of my weaknesses are there. So that's great. So I know that I resist all of them. In terms of weaknesses, I'm weak to Ground, Ghost, Fire, and Dark. I should probably have kept Salamences open, but the point is that Salamence is not weak to any of those things, so I don't share
is immune to ground and resistant to fire.
Even better. So those two work quite well as a little pair.
It's a little unit.
Yeah. So already a team that has both of them on it is going to be quite scary. Right?
I'll say.
So... right. So if we go back to our team... Again, I'm not going to go into moves or anything else just yet. So far, I want to have an idea of what members I'm going to bring. Excuse me. I want to find a third one that might help. Ideally both, but certainly Metagross. I've gone for a defensive on here, and I'm looking for someone to support Salamence. So someone should probably be supporting them on the special side as well. So I might want a specially defensive type that helps with Metagross's weaknesses. Metagross's weaknesses are Ground, Ghost, Fire, and Dark. So again, they're all times 2 weaknesses. So let's look as you alluded to in your video, Ray. Ground moves are particularly common. So I might go to Ground. Ground moves, see common. What's good there? So in terms of moves that resist ground, we've got Bug and Grass. So I could pick a Bug Grass type, or I can have a look for a Bug Grass type. I happen to know, because I just have a knowledge of the game, that there are not as many bug types as grass types. So I'm more likely to get a grass type. So let's pick grass.
Yep.
More likely. No reason I can't pick bug. I'm just going to pick grass instead. Go back to Showdown. On my third mon, I'm going to filter by grass. And this time I'm going to go by special defense, because I've got a physical defense one. And straight off the bat, Berisian looks quite nice. 90 HP, which we've already said is quite good. 129 special defense. Fantastic. Attacking stats are not bad. 90, it's not the best, but it's pretty damn good. And fighting as a subtype should not double us up any weaknesses anywhere. We'll have a look.
Your grass does give you a double fire weakness though, so that's worth bearing in mind.
Yeah, I've got 2 fire weaknesses between Berisian and Metagross. I've also got 2. Yeah, that's it. Just 2 fire weaknesses.
I mean, there is the best Pokemon in the game sitting just underneath Berisian, but I understand why you're not going to go for it.
I'm not going for that one. But so the point about this is a lot of people will worry about double weakness and things like that. As far as I'm concerned, you can have 2 things weak on a team of 6. You shouldn't have 3, because then you've got half the team.
Yeah.
But you can have 2, as long as you bear that in mind going forward.
I think so.
So I'm going to go for Berisian. So I've now got coverage, if you like, in terms of offensive stab moves, which is what you were talking about yesterday as well.
So these are powerful moves of the Pokemon's types.
So I know I've got a good dragon move, a good flying. I can assume the Pokemon should at least one good
Most
move. Most
Pokemon have at least one good stab.
Incredibly rare. Steel, Psychic, Grass, and Fighting. So this is good as a team of 3. Actually,
sure.
Go back to the chat and double check. No Mega Venusaur. 2 ice weaknesses. Is there an ice weakness, or does not Berisian neutral to it?
I think fighting resists ice, doesn't it? But I wouldn't
thought
swear to it.
fighting resisted ice, but let me double check.
Give Berisian a little Google.
Nice boots.
It looks so smug.
Oh no, weak to ice.
No, okay.
Okay. So we've got 2 ice weaknesses and 2 fire weaknesses.
Thick fat looking so appealing.
Well, what you've done there, Ray, is you've used your knowledge of the game.
Right.
Not everyone has the knowledge of the game.
Okay.
If it was fire and ice,
Yeah.
what resists fire and ice?
Water.
Water resists, yeah. Water resists both of them. Fire also does. So let's go for a water type. You've gone right into it from the other things we've already looked at, from Salamance's weaknesses to ice and Metagross's weaknesses to fire. We know that water was listed both.
Yep.
So we'll go for a water type. Bearing in mind, as we go now to our 4th mon, our goals for the Salamence build at the beginning, where we wanted to speed up Salamence ideally, slow down the opposing team so that Salamence can make sure he's fast enough, and also potentially weaken everybody else. What I might want is a water mon that can do hazards.
Okay.
Hazards I'm going to introduce. I'm not going to go into too much depth on them. There are several different moves which can lay in wait, if you like, for a Pokemon as they enter the battlefield. They will take either a damage or an effect, or normally a combination of both, from that. Most common one is Stealth Rocks, as you said, which is done purely on a weakness to rock. There's Ground, which I don't think is done on weakness. It's just a flat damage. That's Spikes, which is ground type. And then there's Poison Spikes, which I don't think does any damage. It's purely gives you the poison.
Yeah.
Sticky Webs is speed, which we could also do, but Sticky Webs is a bug move. We've gone down water.
They're moves that you use on the environment rather than an enemy Pokemon. They stick around when the enemy comes in and hits the ground running from their Pokeball. Ouch. There's some spikes there. They take a bit of damage.
Correct. So immediately, and I'm trying not to go too far down my own knowledge and keep to how these guys would look at it. Let's say that I knew of the names of the hazards, right? So I know that there's a move called Stealth Rocks. I know there's a move called Spikes. I know there's a move called Poison Spikes.
Yeah.
Toxic Spikes. Let me type in Toxic Spikes. And if I filter by water and Toxic Spikes, one immediately jumps to the top, and that's Tentacruel.
Yeah.
So for this, I'm tempted by the Tentacle.
Tentacruel.
I'm tempted by Tentacruel.
What a wanker.
He could be being genuine, in which case, thank you, JP, gold star.
We'll have none of that sarcasm here, my boy.
Either the tier takes you out or you get a gold star. This is what's going to happen.
Oh, dear. Yeah, sorry.
Shut up. You're not helping. Oh, all he's learned is a showdown feature. He hasn't actually learned anything about team building. I've just taught him you can filter by 2 things.
You can filter by anything.
You can filter by anything, and you can stick it in the Pokemon search.
It's all right.
As well. It doesn't care.
If our team ends up really crap, I'll share some showdown commands that I researched over the weekend, and that will blow their little minds, and then they can feel like they learned something.
No, how do you need your showdown commands?
You don't need my showdown commands.
Right. With 4 mons deep, we're doing pretty well. Right?
Yeah.
I think we have entry hazards, we have physical defense, we have special defense. These 2 can help protect Salamence from the various things that might try and kill him. This one's going to help weaken everybody else on their team.
Okay.
So I've still got 2 slots left. So I still have the speed control thing on the table. I can try speeding up this team. I can try slowing down the opposing team. Now, speed up teams and slow down again, we could type Bulbapedia, but I haven't seen there's only one answer really for both. And that's Tailwind to speed my team up. Or that's Sticky Webs to slow them down.
Yep.
Slowing them down is an entry hazard and therefore can be cleared through various ways. Whereas Tailwind is sort of like Sword Dance. It's up until it finishes, at which point it stops. Or it's more like Reflect, I guess, in that way.
Yep. Very short-lived.
It's very short-lived, but, you know, this is a team about experimenting. I'm going to see who we have in the Tailwind category. I'm going to say for a Tailwind user, I'm going to want them to be pretty fast already, because super worst case, they might die. So I want them to get the Tailwind out at least, so that whoever comes next is not going to be in a bind. So the fastest Tailwind user I can see Megas we can go into another time, but Aerodactyl is one. Normal Aerodactyl's right there. We also have Crobat. That's doubling up on the poison. We haven't got a rock type. Crobat doubling up on the flying poison. We haven't got.
Aerodactyl is not weak to rock though, but it is another ice weakness, which we said we weren't going to allow ourselves.
Yeah, I keep thinking that what do you
Depend-
call it?
well-
Virizion resist, but you're right, it doesn't.
For me, it depends on how committed you are to Tailwind speeding Salamence up. Another option, of course, is let it speed itself up with Dragon Dance. And
There is that, but I
focus on
didn't. I
protecting
didn't
it in
want
other ways.
to do that.
No, you want Tailwind? That's fine.
No, I don't need to do Toad because now I'm looking down at Ribombi.
I see that Rabombi. Rabombi gives us a fairy type, which would create a fairy.
A Fairy Steel Dragon Core.
Just let me check, unless Bug's weak to ice as well. It's not, is it?
It's not.
No, it's not. No, so that would let us introduce the concept of a core, as well as putting a cute little bee on our team.
I'm going to put the cute little bee on our team. I would question. Oh, Ray. I don't know if anyone else can see that, but Ray's battery's running low.
Nobody else should be able to see it now.
Oh, okay, well, I've told them now.
So you've needlessly humiliated me.
I'm going to do Ribombi, but just before we do, I want to know if it even gets sticky web. So I've got both forms of speed control on there.
Ribombi!
What did I say? Bug types. Never forget them. Have you done that? Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're powered in. Okay.
We're
cool.
powered in. So, can we pipe up very briefly about the concept of a core?
I've got
then, as-
3 weak to fire, so yes, you best.
Okay, actually.
Pipe up quick.
Ribombi's a shit job.
You've let me go down Ribombi.
Well, I would have grabbed the fairy type straight after Metagross and Salamence if it were me. But then I'm just the TA, so...
You are just a tier. Get back in your box.
I have the luxury of not having to control the unruly crowd whilst also imparting logic. I can just pipe up snidely from the sidelines.
I don't like
From the
Ribombi anymore.
sidelines.
I hadn't realised
No,
that
it's another
Ribombi-
fire weakness.
There's another fire weakness.
There's Diancie in there, your old favourite.
But I'm not. That's filtering by nothing. It's Diancie in there.
It's just a good Pokemon. It's fairy type.
Shish. Hush your noise.
Diancie's a vast, powerful fairy.
Whimsicott's a fire weakness as well.
It's another ice.
Swoobat isn't? Oh, Swoobat's an ice weakness. There isn't one, is there?
For Tailwind, you might be out of luck.
Damn.
Oh, there you go, Comfey. That's a fairy type.
That's 100 speed. Hey, don't come at me with my Comfey.
You did say we were ignoring tears.
We are. What's wrong with Comfey?
I suggested it.
What's wrong with Swanner? Isn't Swanner neutral?
Swanner is neutral to ice, but weak to rock.
I don't care.
We do have a rapid spinner.
No, but don't worry about that.
Yes,
We've got no
Swanner.
rocks. It's Swanner. No, it's Swanner.
You just come swanning in here.
It was always going to be Swanner. I don't know. I just thought I'd derail you briefly.
Trick room based Diancie, says John. Reliving his past glories, it was pretty good. Didn't you had base Diancie, didn't you, this season?
I did, yes.
You did some shit with that Diancie.
I did do some shit. I don't think I did Trick Room though. But that's another form of speed control. Good point.
4 times weak to freeze dry.
Look, this team is not going to be meta competitive, but it is going to work.
Stop confusing the newbies with freeze dry.
Yeah,
and
don't
doing so, pointing out our oversights.
Specific moves that only affect
God.
one very specific instance. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, that's the closest I've ever seen Ed to coming to saying you're right to somebody, not wrong.
Right, everyone don't ignore it. Ignore them. They're talking about a very, very specific ice move.
Freeze dry is a very niche move that
Nope.
ignores normal type relationships in favour of something else.
It would kill Swanner, yes.
It's an
but
edge
only
case.
that move. If Freeze Dry has not got good distribution, we'll be fine. I promise you all we'll be fine.
I'm helping.
This is as TA, it's your job to keep these out of my classroom.
Sorry.
They'll sit in the corridor and think about what they've done.
Yeah, Ed, sit in the corridor. If I
Right.
catch you talking to that John. Oh, a likely story. You know, I'd respect you more if you owned up, Mr. Pryor. Don't go blaming that handsome John Hancock. He's a star. Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
It's all right. In a minute, we'll build Weber Starmie team, and that'll be worse than this one. We'll pit them against each other.
This is In car crash. Right, okay. Swanner is great. I'm loving Swanner. Swanner's going to help us all in so many different ways. We've got a double weakness to electricity that I can see right here, right now.
Yep, between Tentacruel and Swanner, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to find a mon that helps the general effort. It's going to be one that's either immune to or resist electricity. It's going to, at the same time, I don't want one that
Is weak to ice.
Yes. So for that reason, I'm going to go for a lightning rod electric Pokemon.
Okay.
You did touch on this in your thing, so I'm not. I don't mind. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. Why not? There's the point I'm trying to make. Stumbling over my words is that you touched upon about their abilities that can make you immune to certain types. In addition to types, you said levitate, which is immune to ground type moves. Lightning rod also makes you immune to electric. There's water absorb that makes you immune to water. Flash fire makes you immune to fire, and this will blow JP's mind as well. You can even type that in here. Lightning, when you spell it right, rod, filtered by lightning rod. And for this mon, because I don't think we've focused on any offensive stats outside
Seeking
of
gets
Salamence,
lightning rod?
then we'll do it. We'll go for special attack. And
Ooh.
That's an ice mega, but it is
There's
very weak to
quad
ice.
There's another ice weakness that we definitely
It's
don't need.
very weak to ice.
No, when you said lightning rod, it was Manectric.
Mega Manectric is what you were
Jumped
thinking
into
of.
my head.
Mega Manectric
Well, the
doesn't
Mega
have
Manectric
lightning rod.
loses lightning rod, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's still fine. We only want it while Swanner is alive and likely to take electric. Beyond that, Mega
That
Manectric
fleeting time while Swanner is alive.
could be quite helpful. Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's go Mega Manectric. That was just on our special attack.
So what would that give us in terms of attackers? We'd have a physical attacker, a fast physical attacker in Salamence.
Yep.
A fast special attacker in Mega Manectric.
Mm-hmm.
We've got specially defensive in Tentacruel.
Oh, actually, it was Parisian, but yeah, we also
and Parisian
have
and Tentacruel. And our physical defense is coming from Metagross, right?
Yep.
We're going for bulky physical Metagross.
Yep.
And then Swanner is also here.
Swanner is there for speed control.
Swanner's there for your tailwind and you.
Well, we'll have a look at Swanner's moveset. I think Swanner might surprise you. I think Swanner's probably.
This is also a realistic-ish kind of draft level squad, right? You've got
that was my aim.
A couple of tier 1 things, a mega, and then some kind of shite filling the back, which is sort of what we want, right?
Swanner is going to wreck face.
It's yet to ever be drafted.
Maybe my face, but yeah.
Now is the time. You realise we have to take this monstrosity on ladder.
Yeah, and we will.
We have to win.
And when they rage quit. Right, so starting off, Salamance's my main man.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be
We're building team around
sweeper slash what did I say? Sweeper slash revenge killer.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to make this one choice scarf, but because we've tried to put speed elsewhere, let's not. Let's go for a sort of boring-ish life orb, which is just damage, and we'll take a little bit of damage on recoil. But you haven't gone into items yet, so I don't want to go too much.
No, so I'm going to cover. My video has already come out covering roles, and you guys have already fed back very handily. Thank you. So that kind of covers looking at Pokemon stats and deciding what they do, which we've kind of taken for granted as we've done this. Salamence is fast and it hits hard, so it's a sweeper. It aims to go first and kill things. Offense is its best defense. I will go over items. There's a lot to choose from, but there's really only about.
As you see
10.
here, they do popular items, of which, it's just these ones. Popular items.
Yeah.
And most of those are berries that are duplicates of each other.
There's only kind of, I don't know, maybe 10 items that you see 98% of the time, and the rest just pop up very occasionally, and we go, what is JP doing with that?
Yeah.
Life Orb is a very common sweeper item. It gives you extra damage, you lose a bit of your health, but offense is the best defense for these Pokemon. They want that damage. So we're going to whack a Life Orb on it. Great choice.
When it comes to ability, this is very simple. This is simply...
Roasting. That wasn't a diss. JP's our resident mad genius.
He's the only person so far to say how much he's learned from today's thing. So I'm all about JP's the gold star right now. He's star people. Again, for those who are not aware of everything that which ability is good, don't worry about it. You just read it. Intimidate on switching. This Pokemon lowers the attack of adjacent opponents by one stage. Intimidate. That would be great if I wanted a defensive Salamence, but I don't, so maybe. This Pokemon attack is raised by one stage if it attacks and kills another Pokemon. It's literally what I want it to do. So I'm gonna go for Moxie as my ability. Then similar to moves in terms of is the internet fucking about with us?
Don't know.
There is no reason for me to be echoing. Am I still echoing?
I feel like my mental.
It's gone.
It's gone. Probably just because you stopped talking.
It was just bad internet. Shut your fucking face.
No, I'm sure. No, JP is very good. Becky, don't listen to us. We're just jealous.
How'd you know that's Becky?
Uh,
Bobby Jelly. How did you translate that to be Becky?
She's popped up before, I think.
What, said her name is Becky?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair
yeah,
dues.
it is. There you go.
Fair dues.
Yeah,
No,
I'm a people person. I remember people.
JP is a fantastic mentor. The thing we laugh at with JP is that JP's style of both not just building an entire draft roster, but building his specific team is that he'll go for the stuff you don't expect. But for this sort of team, for this practical lesson, and indeed for your lessons, we're going to stick to what's popularly seen because it's popularly seen for a reason. JP is absolutely valid most of the time when he brings his crazy stuff. But
well, it's like that old chestnut about anything else, right? You should learn the rules before you break them.
See, JP, that's not what I wanted to say. That just undercuts my point entirely.
Let's press on.
Press on.
We can build some.
We'll quickly build this team. We'll chuck it on, and then we'll speak to somebody else and see what they've got.
That's it. Yeah, PK named as Rabombi.
Oh, really? Bobby
Yeah.
Jellybean? That does ring a bell now you say that.
Yeah.
Right. Back to it.
That's cute.
I want a big dragon move for my Salamence. Big stab move.
Yeah, so we almost always whack a stab move on first, right?
Yeah.
It's very
You'll never not
it's a
want
bad
one.
situation if you look at this an attacking Pokemon and say, I don't want its stab move.
Yeah.
Probably means you should think twice about bringing it at all. Sometimes you should, but
Yeah, it could be an entirely
mostly we want a
utility,
stab
but-
move.
yeah.
So we want Dragon or Flying as those are Salamence's types. It's got a load of great Dragon moves.
Yeah, it's got loads of great, and as you said, the star is the physical ones. The sort of swirling whirlpool is special,
Yeah.
and the grey is just nothing. Utility moves, non-attacking
Yes,
moves.
non-attacking moves.
I see you were talking about Dragon Dance, which would make me quicker and more offensive.
If
But
we
I
can
have to
find a
spend a
turn to
turn
use it.
doing that, and I don't want to. I want the team to support this element.
Okay.
For this particular one, I'm not going to. Earthquake, another great move. It has 100. If I really wanted to, I could go to Bulbapedia and look at what moves I might struggle with. I could see that both Dragon and Flying are resistant to Steel. See
Steel
that
resists both
Steel
of those,
is
yeah.
weak to ground, and therefore go for Earthquake. I'm just save you the shortcut and say that if a Mon learns Earthquake and it's physically offensive, it can almost always merit a move slot on there somewhere.
Earthquake's one of the best moves going.
Yeah, it's 100. It's 100, and it's ground, which is established is very, very good. I'm tempted by a fire move for the same token. There's pesky steel types. At which point we only really have special options. We have a couple of low-powered
Slightly
physical
to
ones.
being mixed.
Yeah, well, that could still be fine. And then we
I
have.
think it's Hydro Pump.
Yeah, you want to go? We can go Hydro Pump if you want.
No, I did not know that. So do we have anything for fairies? Fairies will be immune to our dragon moves and will be neutral to Earthquake. Do we have anything that's super effective against fairies?
We do not. So don't ask me again.
Pretty sure. What?
What do you think? That we have Iron Head?
I thought it had Iron Head.
No, it does not have.
Does it get
Iron
Steel Wing?
Maybe it has it in the lower.
Oh,
No
okay.
one should use this, but
Shit.
it does. Yeah, you want to use it?
I don't know. It's in the usually useless moves.
It is usually useless.
Salamence not get Iron Head. Okay, fair enough.
It's only 70 power.
Iron Tail, says JP.
Is Iron Tail in?
You can type. You
Iron
can type.
Tail is
You
here.
can type the move in.
Yeah, I know I can. I want to
just
show.
choose not to.
I want to show everybody how it's in the usually useless moves.
Okay. You can, as John points out, search for moves by type.
Yeah, this. I think all of these boxes pretty much filter by anything I like.
Just type whatever
So
you
I can
like
type in
yeah.
the name in. I could look for all the steel moves that I have, and I can see that the popular ones steel wing. Oh no, not even. It stops ranking them by popularity. It just says which ones I've got.
It's Iron Tail and Steel Wing are our choices, yeah.
I don't really want to pick either of them.
Okay. That's fine.
I personally would rather have.
This is your Salamence.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have Fire Blast.
Okay, so this will be making Salamence into a mixed sweeper.
It will be mixed, yeah.
Using its attack and special attack.
Yeah, why
So
not?
we've just added a special move to the mix.
I'm living on the edge. And then in terms of what anyone else might suffer from, Stone Edge is probably good enough. As soon as I put my fourth move, it shoves me to the stats. Again, we could go down a rabbit hole here. Doesn't mean that Pokemon's complicated. It just means there are several different ways to skin the cat. But Showdown will always tell you what it suggests you do, and I'm gonna just pick that. This is put of my whatever it is, 508, 510 EVs. It's distributed them in a way that it thinks is best. Almost always, Showdown knows what it's doing.
So I'm going to cover this in a very brief, concise video, hopefully. Yeah. But this is almost always what you want to do with EVs. EVs are just kind of like training points. It's what do you want your Pokemon to spend its time at the gym, training on. You
making itself faster, making itself more offensive. Yeah. And in this particular one, I've actually boosted my speed.
And usually you'll drag 2 of those sliders right the way across to the right and then just put the remainder somewhere else. And usually it's your best stats. So we keep saying we want Salamence to be fast, we want it to hit hard, so we drag attack all the way up to max, we drag speed all the way up to max. Because there's no point giving it extra hit points because we don't really want it to be taking hits. Yeah. We want it to be as fast and powerful as possible and blow things out of the way. Cool. Boom. We have a Salamence.
Salamence is built.
All that's left now is for a cool nickname.
No, I'm not doing nicknames because we'll be here all bloody night.
Okay.
Don't get attached, Ray. Don't get attached.
They're fodder.
For Metagross, we're going to go for a defensive Metagross because I wanted to have a nice defensive wall for those, what do you call it, physical ice types, probably rock types. I want to do Salamence harm. And therefore I want to be able to come in and take basically nothing from them.
Okay.
So I was thinking probably leftovers, which is just a little bit of health every turn.
The classic bulky item.
It's a classic bulky item.
So by my definitions in my video, Metagross doesn't quite meet the criteria for a full wall because it doesn't have any means of getting its HP back.
Correct.
You can, however, oftentimes substitute a sufficiently bulky attacker for a wall. They can kind of do the same job.
How clever,
especially on an offensive team like you tend to like. You tend to run very few dedicated walls. It's Toxapex or Umbreon, and then a bunch of guys who want to kill you, and that's fine. This goes back to the idea of balance, offense, defense. There's wiggle room for personal preference.
Yeah, that's fine. Clear body means that we can't have our defenses or attack stats, for that matter, dropped in any way, or speed. Don't really matter for a Metagross, as we can see from here. The speed's pretty rubbish, but that's fine. And the Pokemon's weight is halved, which is only going to come into play very, very rarely, so I'm not going to bother. I'd rather have my stats never get lowered. I have a way of boosting my speed, which I'm not going to bother with. For this, I'm just going to want power, basically. Potentially, if I have come in, and I've taken negligible damage from some rock move, I'm going to have the time to boost. And then my next attack is going to be quite powerful. So I'm probably going to make a bulky attacker, as I think you called them.
Okay.
I'm going to put in Home Claws.
Does it not get bulk up?
I don't think it does.
No.
No.
It's Home Claws is what we have.
Home Claws is what we have. But that's fine because we have Meteor Mash, which is 90% accurate.
Okay.
And I would like the accuracy boost.
Cool.
So again, big stab type. I should have gone for that first, perhaps. The big steel type. We do have Power Up Punch, which is a sort of low power but has the same boosting thing as Home Claws. But yeah, no.
Yeah, so some moves will have secondary effects stapled to them. They'll do a bit of damage and something else. In this case, you get an attack boost and a little bit of a damage move in one.
I'm going to have my other stab. Why not? And I quite like the idea of Thunder Punch,
Okay.
Sort of Bolt Beam combo.
Yeah.
Oh no, I never picked Ice Punch. I just thought Ice Punch in my head. No, I'm gonna have Thunder Punch and Ice Punch.
No Zen Headbutt.
No, don't want. I've got no fear of having psychic. No, shut up.
Okay.
Bulky physical.
Okay. You do. It's a hard job to build.
But
on
no,
the
the point,
fortunes,
the point about this is, I'm building this for whatever we might come across on the ladder, right? In a meta, that is a genuine choice in terms of draft. If you look at someone's team and they're weak to psychic, whack Zen Headbutt on there. If you look at someone's team, they're not weak to psychic, don't bring it. Don't feel like you have to just because you have to have stab. Your psychic move, because you are psychic type, will be stronger than somebody else trying to use a psychic type. But if no one's weak to psychic, why are you throwing around psychic moves anyway?
Yeah, unless they resist your other stab.
They might resist, but in this case, my meta is entirely unknown, so who knows?
So what we can see here, I know a lot of people are intimidated by EVs, and I will kind of cover them and demystify them. They are
Just
quite
let
easy.
Showdown guess.
But if you choose all of 4 of your moves first, Showdown will have its best guess at what EVs you want.
Yeah.
And it's usually,
it's usually
it's
correct.
very rarely disastrous.
Uh-huh.
It's always better than nothing.
If
I
I'd
think
have
Stu
put...
at one point was leaving his EVs blank.
Never leave them
Don't
blank.
leave them blank.
Always
You're
click
leaving
this button.
free stats on the table. If nothing else, click the suggest.
Always
a guest
click the
spread,
button.
as it calls it.
Yeah.
Click that.
Virizion, probably the same. Although what I can do with Virizion is use the Assault Vest, which times my special defense, which is already my best stat,
Yeah.
by half. But I can only use damaging moves. That's fine because my offensive stats are pretty good as well.
Yeah, add half again, times by 1.5,
Yeah,
very
so
good.
I'm gonna do that. I only have one ability, which is I get my physical attack raised by 1 stage if I get damaged by a dark type move. That might be something I can engineer if I can see a dark move coming.
Metagross is weak to dark, it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. So potentially I'll try and go for physical attack on this Brazilian, but I'm not making any decisions just yet. If I look at the stats just quickly, I can see they're both 90. So it's my choice. I'm gonna go to the moves. We could do a similar thing here with Virizion, and we could go Calm Mind for boosting, but we can't use that with Assault Vest. So let's
Very true.
forget about it for now. Close Combat, a nice big physical move that would tie in with Justified boost. But we do have Focus Blast, which is the same power but inaccurate. I want to get a fighting type move. Sacred Sword, physical, ignores all stat changes. That could be quite a nice middle ground. Because of my intentions with the team was to get as much damage on the opponent as possible so that Salamence can do the cleaning up. Get as much... sorry, other way around. Salamence is going to be doing most of the damage and the heavy lifting. Therefore, I think Sacred Sword is fine to use. I don't want to make myself weaker. I am my special defensive... I am the wall, or the equivalent of in my team.
The Walrus.
Yes. And close combat would lower my defenses by 1.
We need to call this Pokemon Rust now. Sorry, carry on.
Rather than lower my defenses on what is supposed to be a defensive Pokemon, I'm not going to. I'm going to go Sacred Sword. That's my fighting type move. And for my grass move, right underneath it, I can see a grass type move that is physical. No additional effect. It just does some damage. That's fine. I can have Synthesis. Oh. It's actually quite a lot of good moves, aren't there, Ray?
Quite a lot of good non-attacking moves.
Non-attacking moves on this thing.
We can put the Assault Vest back. We can
I
admit
think we
the mistake.
might. I think we might do that. I think I'm going to go leftovers on this as well.
Okay.
And with that, I think we might go Giga Drain.
Okay. So we're shifting gears now. We're going to go for a special Virizion.
I'm going to go for a special Virizion.
That can use non-attack moves.
Yeah. And for that reason...
says cowards. Is there an item clause? No, there is never an item clause.
There is never, ever an item clause. There has never been. There will never be an item clause. Sorry to jump down your throat there, Webb, but that was a point of contention in the past.
In season 0, there was an item clause. That's where the whole confusion
was there
came
even
from.
in season 0?
Yes, there was. Yeah.
I think you made that up.
Well, I did make it up because I made up the rules for season 0.
So it was your fault.
So we're both right.
No, I said non-attacking moves. Yeah, Calm Mind is the yes.
Calm Mind, Synthesis, Giga Drain, and a fighting move.
We've got
then a nice little a nice little special wall, right?
We've
got means of restoring our HP.
Should we
We've
focus
got
blast?
2 stab moves to do damage.
Or would you just go for an uninvested physical one?
If it were me, I would go Focus Blast.
Would you go Focus Blast?
Probably. It doesn't get Leech Seed, does it? You know I love my Leech Seed.
It does not get Leech Seed.
I'm all about my Leech Seed.
I don't know if I'd rather have a hidden power if I'm going special.
It's your team. Have what you like.
Would I
extricate myself from it entirely.
Would I be completely mental to go hidden power fighting? Just to get a special fighting move that's not going to miss all the fucking time?
Yes, you would be completely mental.
Fine, Focus Blast it is.
70% of the time, it hits every time.
It doesn't though, does it? If you ever use it in practice, it's a lot lower than that.
That's conspiracy, superstitious nonsense.
Right, here's
you shouldn't
one.
Be telling it.
I've hit
Telling it.
bulky special sweeper. That's no. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to overwrite Showdown right here. I've done the guest spread, which is bulky special, which is all HP, all special attack. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm boosting my special attack with Calm Mind, and I'd rather stick around longer and be more annoying. So I'm actually going to take out the stuff from special attack, and I'm going to put it in special defense.
Sounds reasonable.
Make that the positive stat. So I have a big special defense stat.
So Showdown is also choosing Nature's. Again, this is going to be in my video.
Don't worry.
Really simple.
You can see what it does.
10% boost in one stat, 10% drop in another. If you type plus and minus into the EV boxes, it will choose the right nature for you, so you don't need to know the names. I remember learning the names when we played Gen 4 on cartridges, and we were just getting into competitive after Chris Munden schooled us both, and it was kind of, oh crap, mine's come out. Naive, what the fuck is that? And you have to look at this horrible little table on Cerebi.
Yeah, to work out which
back
one
in the day.
which.
But you kids nowadays with your phones, you can just type in minus and plus, and it'll do it for you.
Yeah, whichever one you want. That's purely flavor text from the game, which is competitive Pokemon players we don't care as much about.
But you're dropping whatever stat you're not. If you're not using a stat, like we're not using our physical attack because we have all special moves, drop that one.
Yeah.
And let's give us a boost in something we are using.
Come on, 3 out of 6. We're going well.
Okay.
Tentacruel, I wanted to have toxic spikes on it. So this is a weird little instance where we can pick a move that does exactly the same as leftovers, but it's called the Black Sludge. Only if you're poison type, it does leftovers. And the point there is if somebody else were to steal, which can happen, your items can get stolen, they'll take damage from it. So it's just insurance in case they do that. Otherwise, it's leftovers. You can
no one wants to steal my sludge.
Clear body, same as Metagross, so I wouldn't lose any speed or potentially offense from an Intimidate or something. Liquid Ooze, if somebody wants to try and drain me, they would take damage, the exact same as they would heal. As they would heal, not as they would do in terms of damage. That's not so bad. And then Rain Dish, if this is active, I heal 1/16 of the max HP each turn. Yeah, but Swanna's on the team. And I'm tempted to run Rain Dance Swanna. Swanna's on the team. No, you're looking at me.
I'm taking this team to strange new places. Do it. We've already got Swanna. We've
committed to Swanna. I think let's do it. I'm gonna go Toxic Spikes. Shut up. Look, as TA, you support me in all my endeavours.
Sorry.
You don't snidely try.
I'm really sorry. You know what it is? It's because I'm usually the authority figure, and you and Sam get to have all the fun, kind of undermining things. Not that you ever do.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never do that.
But now that I've got the power of undermining, I'm abusing it. No, I'm sorry. No.
You should be better than us. Be better, not be the same. Rapid Spin would support Salamence in terms of getting rid of Stealth Rocks.
Yeah.
This is, again, when you discuss entry hazards in your lecture and the theory,
yeah,
you'll know why I wanted this on the team.
Yeah.
I didn't have to have this. I've actually got defog options in Swanna, so Swanna's great. The point is, yeah, entry hazards are a thing. The rock ones particularly can fuck Salamence up. I don't want that. So Rapid Spin will do a good way of stopping that. I think I'd probably want Scald on here for my Water Stab. That's a water type move that has a chance to burn. So
it's one of the best water type moves.
It's one of the best water type moves in the game. Accidentally, you can thaw a frozen target. So if you freeze somebody, don't then scald them because you'll unfreeze them. This happened to me twice yesterday when I was preparing for this. I got frozen twice in the bounce, and then I swapped into a guy scalding me, and both times he couldn't believe it. And
I did not know that. But
yeah, he hit the roof. He hit the roof. How you doing that? You're obviously going to
Amazing.
click installed, you moron. You melt me.
bet-
Melt my ice.
I bet even Ed didn't know that.
Well, watch it.
Wait for it.
So toxic spikes, to reiterate, does poison. Therefore, they'll be poisoned when they come in. So that'll be a status. Scald will chance to burn. That's another status. If poison for whatever reason didn't work, or if it's a different poison immune mon, that can happen. Rapid spin gets rid of status. So we've got one move left. I'm looking at all of them. They're all pretty good. Do you want to have a move for fairies? Because fairies can be annoying for salamence.
Yeah, I think a nice poison move.
Perhaps a big
Poison stab.
sludge. I mean, sludge bomb, sludge wave. That makes much difference. I've got more chance to poison on bomb. Someone go sludge bomb.
We are hoping to poison them with toxic spikes, though. But
Yeah, I know, but that's fine.
There's not much in it.
Yeah, there's not much in it. Fast special sweeper is what it's suggested because I didn't do anything to make myself obviously bulky in terms of moves. But I think I am going to go bulky because my HP is pretty good. So actually, I'm not even going to bother clicking that button. I'm just going to go 252 there. Do I care? No, I care more about status than I care about power. I'm going to put it more on special defense.
Power gives you status, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah. And we'll do the same as Frizzy, and we'll go plus there, and we'll go minus on attack. We're not using attack at all. Boom.
So something worth noting about EVs that I will remind people of in the EV seminar. The EV seminar. It's only worth investing EVs in a defense after you've maxed out HP most of the time.
Oh yes.
You want HP first if you want bulk.
Yes, any form of bulk, you definitely want HP. The question then is, are you going to put an offensive stat or a defensive stat? There's no point in doing defense on its own with like speed or something, or defense and attack. It won't make the result you want.
Because hit points are useful against both types of attack, physical or special, whereas the defense stats are only good against one.
They're almost basically a multiplier, aren't they? They make your defense worth investing in. Swanna. I have no idea what Swanna's abilities are. Keen Eye.
What do you Swanna do?
The accuracy. I'm ignoring you. The accuracy can't be lowered. That's never going to come into play because competitive Pokemon actually has a thing where you can't. Evasion clause means you can't become harder to hit.
Yep.
Therefore, Keen Eye will never do anything. So Big Pecs means no one can lower my defense. It's not bad. Hydration, my Pokemon has its status cured at the end if Rain Dance is active. Synergizes with Tentacule's Rain Dish ability.
If we have rain, then yeah.
I'm making Rain Dance Swanna.
Okay.
I want rain, and because of that, I want what's it called?
Damp rock.
Damp rock. This is an item that I've gone too niche. I'm sorry. It just means that Rain Dance lasts longer. We'll do one for Web in a minute. It'd be great. I want Rain Dance. I think I might have to Fog as another way of clearing. What you call it? I also wanted Tailwind.
Jesus.
Which means I've become quite a utility Swanner. We're not using our offensive power, which is fine, but we are taunt bait. If somebody were to taunt us, we do literally nothing.
You almost always want to have some means of doing damage.
My temptation is to go for
disagree.
Hurricane, Stab, and can't miss in rain.
Or his perfect accuracy in rain.
That's what I think he meant to say.
Is what Bob Dylan might have said at one point.
I think is that the best skit we've ever done?
Fast, yeah, certainly the one I enjoyed.
No, I miss the glory days of skit brainstorming.
So we have fast, bulky support. That's what Showdown reckons we should pick, and I'm inclined to agree. That's fine. We're fast, so we can get our tailwinds and defogs off, or rain dances off before we die.
Yep.
And if we do live, then we are as bulky as we can be without investing into defenses. Utilities wanna. A nice benefit of rain, by the way, is that my Fire Weak, Metagross, and Virizion will take half damage. In addition, Manectric can have electric moves. Yeah. So, Ed, this is bottom down, sure, but it started up in a themed team, didn't it?
The bottom down method created a top team.
Add a Swanna. It's about me. Okay, it's not everything is about you, just most things. Right, I'm going to go Manectite.
Girls just want to have fun.
You will sit out on the step yourself in a minute. Question for you. You haven't covered Megas, have you?
Nope.
Okay, very Cliff Notes version. There are some Pokemon that Nintendo and Game Freak blessed with a pseudo evolution. Rather than Pikachu into Raichu, it's sort of like a mega version of that same thing. So Manectric doesn't change into something else. It's just Mega Manectric, which is better. And in fact, I can do Mega and show you. So it gets bigger mane, I guess. It just has, I think it's 100 stats get added to their base stat totalage somewhere.
right?
I think it's
Okay.
always 100. Ed will tell me. But it can be distributed, so some have, like, Beedrill gets, like, 100 of it whacked into attack, but some of them get it spread out quite evenly. Just makes something that was maybe a little bit underwhelming a bit
I
better.
didn't know it was so uniform.
Yeah, always 100.
Yeah, so it's a temporary in-battle only evolution that requires it to hold a Mega Stone.
Yeah, so my item is therefore locked in and chosen for me. I wanted this to be Lightning Rod before it Mega Evolves so that it can take electric moves, so that's fine. But it does tell me that I'll always have the ability Intimidate, which is also fine. That's the one that Salamence could have had, where I lower their attack by 1. I'm going Lightning Rod when I'm a baby Manectric. Here in the moves, I am genuinely going to go for Thunder as my electric move.
Okay.
I am going to go for Volt Switch as well, so I'm not entirely useless. I can see Thunder is in my usually useless moves category. What do they know? Idiots. It's no worse than Focus Blast, which you had me put on Virizion in terms of accuracy. So if you thought I should go for that, for stab fighting, there's no reason why the same can't apply if the rain's not on, but it can't miss in rain. So benefit there.
Thunder only happens when it's raining.
Exactly. Then we're going to go for Hidden Power Ice. You will cover this eventually. Electric and Ice is just a good combo because they just cover each other's weaknesses.
Because ground is immune to electric and ice hits ground super effectively.
Correct.
Hidden Power is a weak move, but it can be any type. It's always special, but it's any type.
Yeah, so basically any specially attacking mon has it up its sleeve as an option for coverage, as we say.
But it is a little puny.
It is a little puny, I suppose. And then we can go for Overheat as a big fire move.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it doesn't really work with the rain, but hopefully we'll never have to use it.
Yeah, actually, that's a bit naff, isn't it?
Nah, fast special sweeper.
I mean, we're relying on Swanner to put rain down. So.
Yeah, exactly. Rain won't always be there. And I've just clicked that's fine. Max speed, max special. This speed stat of 135 is probably so fast that I don't need to be that fast, as you explained. Speed is binary. It doesn't really matter if I'm 100 points. Going to this bit of the thing, my actual number. There's no need for this to be 100 points faster than anybody else can ever reach. I only need to be 1 point faster. So maybe I might go modest, or for ease, just replace the thing here. Replace the plus sign on special attack, because 369 is still pretty quick. If I run a quick number check, 369 is still the highest, 369...
You'll be far and away.
369 is still the highest, so it's the fastest thing on my team regardless. And that's it. That is 18. So I mean, this is ladder ready.
No one can say it's not 18.
No one can say it's not 18. But the point is, it's built with the idea of Salamence coming in near the end, once everyone else has taken some damage from the rest of them, maybe some entry hazards over here, maybe some statuses. And coming up, and with its speed and power, it needs to take out 1 to get an attack boost from its ability and then take out more. It's a Salamence-centric team, built around him as our star man.
The inflatable lizard.
The inflatable lizard. That heckin' inflatable lizard. So I'm going to go OU, and then I'm gonna do it. And then...
Just to please the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it could be god-awful, but...
So most, just to cover our backs, most draft teams are not going to be very good in OU, simply because OU teams will have access to far more powerful Pokemon.
Okay.
Than we Sam heckling us. Oh, there you go. So they've got some lower tier stuff.
We're at the beginning of the OU tier. It's fine.
Okay.
What would you like to start with, Ray? Swanner?
Why not? Start as we mean to go on, I think, with Swanner. So this is just, an exhibition match, really. Webb says good luck. He knows we'll need it.
I don't know, really. What we do? It does get electric moves, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Clink
it
clank.
does. Yeah.
So we should probably run away to our electric, expecting one of those electric moves.
No, it's just
we
going
didn't
to
get
kill
one.
us.
No, that's fine. We have overheat for this situation.
We do. Super effective against steel because it's fire type. We should be faster.
Kaboom!
Oh no, not after it doubles its speed.
That's fine. I resist. Oh, I forgot that hits twice. Oh well. It was Sash.
Focus sash cling clang.
We're dying.
It's looking hairy. Well, we've got some steel resistance in the tank, right?
We do. Which tank would you like to use? We're still resistant to both of our tanks. Which one would you like to use?
I don't know. Either or can do at this point.
Well, it's physically offensive. Let's go Metagross because he's been physically offensive, and therefore we should go to our physically defensive tank.
Oh, he really grinds my gears. That cling clang.
Doesn't he? Doesn't he just? I don't think he's going to try and save this. So, looking at what he has left, this is just again how I might fight. I can see two things that are weak to my electric move. I can see one thing that's weak to my ice move. And everything else I think is either hit neutrally or resists my steel move, so electric seems to be my best bet. He didn't switch anyway, which is fine. Get out of here.
Bzzz. Well done, Metagross.
Metagross absorbing so much of his leftovers right now. Why, it's Drapion. Don't know what this thing's going to do. Oh, how do I know it resists? Yes, although I could also still have my Bulbapedia page open with all the things that steals through. I'm talking about its stab, not necessarily its coverage. I know it resists the steel. I don't know it resists all the moves it could ever have. No one will ever know that. But
I would honestly early on recommend getting a type chart. I think we should probably post that on the group wall.
No, you can tell me. There's a way, isn't it? I can see the weaknesses.
You can do that, yeah. So if you type into the Showdown chat, if you type in /weak, then a space, and then the Pokemon name. So Drapion or Metagross.
I want to know what Metagross should be scared of. So I should be scared of, and then weak. Oh no,
/weak space and then the Pokemon name, and you get a list of weaknesses. But I mean, it's like anything else, right? Once you've consulted the type chart enough times, you don't need to consult it anymore.
You sort of remember
it. Remembering, I don't know, phone numbers or anything else. The number of items on a Chinese restaurant menu when you go to it every night. You just eventually you sink in, but it doesn't necessarily need to. Battle timer is on.
He got bored of my waiting, so I immediately
That's fair enough. Yeah.
I think he wants to kill me. It does 40%, which means it would kill me anyway. But also, he's expecting me to switch.
Yeah, he's got pursuit, hasn't he?
He's got pursuit, so I might as well attack anyway.
We're pretty buggered.
I'm dead. Only on Metagross. We have others.
Another niche move that we haven't explained yet, but
no, but that's fine. One of our revenge killings, or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, we're fast, right?
We are fast.
We're fast. If you hover over Drapion. So if you hover over a Pokemon, you can see its maximum speed. So Drapion gets up to 317 speed, absolute maximum. Our Salamence, if we hover over that, is 328. So we're faster. We have a ground type move to kill this. And if it does stay in and die, we get a Moxie boost.
Amazing.
So I think it's worth coming in. So today isn't really supposed to be about battle strategy. This is going to be something we'll cover another time.
Ooh, Moxie!
Okay, Skarmory. This is why we had our mixed set.
That's why I have Fire Blast, baby.
Boosh, very nice.
Counter
Lovely.
Skarmory.
Right, now we can do Dragon Claw, I guess, for perfect.
I think Dragon Claw would be for the safety of it.
Finish it off.
Yeah. It could counter us, Ray. Oh no, it will die. Another Moxie boost. The team is working just as it was supposed to, and it didn't even need Swanner.
I, for one, hail our Moxie Overlords. Now, this thing could be faster, right? Hover
this
over it.
Thing, I think, could get to 377, which is obscene. It does also have a priority move. I think Water Shuriken is a priority move.
Yes, we do resist that move.
We do. Do you want to hit Dragon Claw? I'm loath to give up our boost.
Yeah. So if you're playing someone who you know is competent, you can work out things about their Pokemon by what they've done. So I would say if I were playing, someone good like JP, there you go, throw him a bone. I would say JP didn't bring this in at first for a reason, therefore it must be a slow Greninja, or he would have gone straight to it when his Drapion died.
Sure.
But with random players on the ladder, there's no guarantee. No, there you go. He could have gone to it straight away and killed us, but he just chose not to.
But he is Protean rather than.
We're running out of time. We're running out of time. Oh, we Zed Swanner. Fuck, we should have been, shouldn't we? We just didn't want to cover Zed moves. That's our excuse.
No.
Manectric. Oh, is Manectric fast enough? We've got no time.
369, 377? Don't know. Might not be.
We're not, unless he's modest rather than timid. We've got to go for it, haven't we?
What, Thunder?
I don't know.
Overheat.
Volt switch.
No, hang on. If we are
we're
faster.
Yeah, go on. He's
he's poisoned. We missed it anyway. Oh, that's fine.
Oh, we're so bad. Oh. Yeah, learn some respect. I don't know, Volt switch.
We're dead, aren't we? Yeah.
We are. Greninja is banned in our league.
We're dead.
Okay, let's...
Absorb!
So many niche interactions. There's so many niche interactions in this fucking game. But it's on the core principles are fine. Something of ours died, we get to bring something in for free. He's weak. He chooses to sacrifice it. So he has presumably a Mega Beedrill and this fucking ghost thing. So this is a physical wall.
Annoyingly,
I just know that because of
poison.
my knowledge, but you can type /stats and then the Pokemon name. In a draft league, you'll always have a chance to research your opponent beforehand. And something we're looking into for new players in the next season is we're going to update our Prep-O-Matic to include little tags of what Pokemon's most common roles are. So Gorgeist will be labelled with like physical wall.
Oh, fuck off. Trick or Treat does that bollocks.
Oh, is this some Celebrate nonsense?
Actually, that was still pretty good in terms of damage, so I'm not even going to worry.
What is fantasy? Oh, is that Giratina's?
It's same thing. It will come back in a minute and attack me.
Oof.
Ouch.
Do we have Hurricane on Swanner? Or
We do have Hurricane on Swanner.
Might be our only hope.
I mean, I don't think it will hit. Now I'm the ghost. Yes! Swanner!
Swanner taking it down.
This is maybe Mega Beedrill.
Yeah, but we've got no better chance than now. Oh.
Ouch. So it comes down to this, and all of its moves are resisted, isn't it?
Yeah, we're buggered, unfortunately. But we put up a good fight with our Swanner team. There you go.
We did.
Nah, mega dead, mate.
Feddies.
Oh, yeah. The Greninja OP, man.
Greninja is...
There you go. We kind of saw something happen. No one can say that nothing happened.
The point is, that team was going up against OU, and it brought it down to the last mon.
I mean, that was a pretty janky OU team we were up against, but yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's fine. It won't win every battle. What do we want to do now? Do we want to...
I'd like to know... Well, I guess my question is, did anybody actually build an entire team of 6 following along with me, or did at some point they give up, which is absolutely fine because we were going a little bit quick? It's more to the newbies. Did they manage to do a 6?
I feel like
Web did.
I really hope Tan's not being sarcastic. Chris, you guys did whole teams.
Oh, amazing. Let's do them then. I want to know what they are.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, if you guys export your teams as text.
Yeah, export it, copy, paste it.
And give them to us.
I'll show you how to do that on mine, right? So if I go to my team here,
yeah,
and then the import export / bit, this just turns it into plain text.
You can copy
and then
that.
I can just copy and paste that and stick it somewhere.
Yeah, you can just copy and paste that into the chat.
Paste that into the chat, and I'll pick it up
and we'll have
pop
a little
it in.
I hope it's been useful. The thing that I found difficult approaching teaching Pokemon is that, like I said, there's so many. Everything is a niche case. There are basics you can learn, and they do cover, the core of things.
That's fine with whatever you've got.
Fine. 200 character limit in chat.
Oh,
Shit. Do you guys want to Facebook it to me? I've got my Facebook open. If you just ping me a Facebook message, if that's easy for you.
Facebook it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But there's too many. Facebook it, Web. There's too many interactions, as Ed and all the other old hands can quite gleefully point out to me, that I'm not accounting for, some of which are more common than others, yes. But the point, don't make a Starmie team. Don't do that.
Well, no,
He's going to ping it to me on Facebook.
I don't know if he is.
Well, he has to tell me explicitly that he's not going to
Well-
before I want to build his team.
I think you did a good job.
Thanks, Ed. Look, the TA doesn't cry. The teacher goes away and drinks whiskey at the end
Is
of the
that right? Okay. Send it to me, Tanya. Ray
Send it
would,
to Ray.
please.
Um,
If you can, actually. Oh, I don't know if we're.
Send it to Ray.
I don't know if we're friends.
How awkward.
It's all right, it'll pop up. If nothing else, we can punch Webb's team in. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, this is to kind of supplement. We're not aiming to teach you guys everything tonight. I mean, yeah.
That would be a horrible brain dump.
Well, what we kind of talked about it, and I said, Dom, I'm doing these theory-led videos, and the way I like to learn things is I like to learn theory first. I like to learn kind of the principles of things. I like to learn the big picture, theoretical stuff, and then learn how to apply it. You prefer a much more sleeves rolled up, dive in, show me how to do it, let me have a go.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the aim of tonight, was more of a hands-on.
The idea is that between both, we'll surely get. Oh, fuck it, fine. Just do that.
Okay, we've got Web, Stormy. Okay.
What are you doing? Gonna write it in?
Are we going to do Web? Are we going to do Web's?
Do Webs because his has come through first. Venusaur Mega. Oh, okay.
Venusaur, Cabalion, Latias, and Mimikyu.
I'm assuming
All
that
of
was built in order, so I want to see if I can follow his thought process.
I'm thinking he's gone for both of the classic. He's gone for both of the classic cores, which is there are worse ways to approach a team.
There are, not the way I taught him. Fine.
Pop the chat up so we can see what,
So we can see his
people
constellation.
are saying.
Right, okay, yeah, no, the point of this, as we say, is to get a broad overview. So we have Starmie to start with. That's your Starman.
Yay!
Starman.
Waiting in the
sky. Starmie is, if we can look from the stats, special attack is the highest stat and speed is the highest stats. Those are the ones you want to go for. We want a team, therefore, that Starmie can pretty much same as Salamence. Starmie wants to come in probably near the end and clean up, or maybe it's because it's such a wide move pool, to discuss what you were saying the other day, Ray. So many different types come in here. You've got some ice, some farriers,
Yeah.
electric.
We've got a great tier 2 special sweeper.
We do, or we can use this as sort of punch holes in things, dent things, because it's got the variety to do that.
Or a wall breaker. Yeah.
It doesn't really care who it comes out as; it can take a lump out of somebody. But the team is built with Starmie in mind. Webb, I'd love to know your thought process. Was Arcanine next that you picked, or was it this order is maybe not?
I personally like the Cabalion synergy.
The Cabalion, yeah.
When I see Starmie, I think so. This is partly knowledge, and it's also, but you also, again, you could go to Bulbapedia, you look this up, you say Starmie's weak to dark and bug and electric and grass. I look at Starmie, and Webb probably knows this from past experience. Knockoffs are going to come your way. So Cabalion, its fighting type, it resists dark.
Mm-hmm.
And its ability gives it an attack boost if it gets hit by a dark type move. So
yes,
if
the same as
senses a dark type move coming for Starmie and he switches to that Cabalion, he is laughing.
It's the same as the Virizion that we had earlier in one of these stupid horse designs. And I don't like the horses.
Look, just stop worrying and love the horses.
Suck it up, but love the horse.
Boy Potter.
Yeah, stop bothering horses. So yes, the water type Starmie does fear. The psychic type in Starmie does fear the bug and the dark, and therefore the fighting steel type is great. The bulky grass type to support the fast water is great. Venusaur, that's Venusaur's justification, and Mega Venusaur is just great. Its ability, thick fat, means that even though it is technically weak to fire, its thick fat ability and ice cancels that out. So effectively, it doesn't have a weakness to fire and ice.
It is the best Pokemon going.
Well, let's not go crazy. Everyone will be after Mega Venusaur, and some of them should be, but not all of them.
I've already been told I can't have it again next season. The all-out pummeling guys have spoken.
Yeah,
I feel this is we've mentioned it already. I think we should just double down on highlighting this point, because I don't know whether Webb's done this consciously or arrived at it organically. It doesn't really matter. The concept of cores is something we talk about a lot That's core as in the core of an apple, not cores as in just cores. The core of your team. And what we often use that to refer to in team building is the concept of, it's usually 3 Pokemon, sometimes 2 or 3 Pokemon who form a kind of perfect defensive or offensive unit, in that whatever comes at them, one of them will be able to step up to the plate and resist it. And the classic ones are Fire, Water, Grass.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the new hotness of Steel, Fairy, Dragon. So I'll mention this in my video as well. Fire, Water, Grass, Steel, Fairy, Dragon. Like Ed says, it's kind of a team within a team.
They're good ideas. Yeah, they're not essentials, but they're good. And
they're boys. They're homies.
And
they've got one another's backs.
What Webb has identified is said that the water type Starmie is not particularly bulky, and therefore his other members of that core should be the bulk.
Yes.
He's gone for a bulky fire type in Arcanine, with the ability to make people do less damage to him, so he can be bulkier.
Yep.
And bulky grass-type Venusaur, which, as you've alluded to, has plenty of healing moves and leech seed and irritating moves to top itself back up, and is also just full of bulk. Both of them can be built offensively if you wish, but in Webb's team, they would do better to be bulk and add that sort of, sponge. They are the sponges to come taking the hits.
Yeah, so this is looking at roles like I covered in my video and kind of saying, right, we have the offensive part of it in Starmie.
Mm-hmm.
The other bit should be defensive, as you say. And I think, just to really hammer this home and bring it into a kind of practical use, I think this concept of a core 2 or 3 Pokemon who are self-sufficient or a unit is really great in draft. And it's a really great way to draft, because you can't really plan a 6 top-down in draft.
Yeah, you can't assume you're going to get everyone. Yeah.
And what I really do when I plan my draft teams, to the extent that one can plan, is I will start with something I want, like Starmie, and I will say, right, Starmie, Arcanine, Venusaur is the dream team. If Arcanine or Venusaur go, these are my,
Yeah, you have to have backups.
That Arcanine could be a Heatran, and its core would be just as good, arguably better. That Arcanine could also be an Incineroar, Dark Resist.
Sure.
That Venusaur could be an Amoonguss, or a Vileplume, or a Virizion. You kind of then say, well, those are kind of the flex spots, and you prioritize, and you say, Starmie's my boy, I want to draft that Starmie. If I get the Starmie, and Arcanine goes, I won't be heartbroken, because I can swap in a Heatran, but it's the same kind of types. You're saying these are kind of other ones that could slot into those types. And then you've got a unit of 2 or 3, and then if somewhere else you draft another unit of 2 or 3, kind of stitch them together, that's another really good way to build a draft roster.
Yeah, and when it comes to what we were saying about drafting and how stuff will go into tiers as well, and we tier stuff in terms of, if you like, rather than think of it as better or worse, think of it as more popular. And Venusaur is likely to go. It's at the top of it's a top tier grass, bulky grass, and therefore you'll find your Vileplume lower down. It's a viable alternative in the core.
It's a viable.
It's a Vileplumeable. Could the Starmie be a Slowbro? I would say if you make Starmie a Slowbro, then you lose out on a lot of offensive power that particular core has. You might want to make the fire type a bit more offensive.
Great point.
Great point. And that's what I mean. That's why when I picked mine, I picked Salamence as the offensive man already, and therefore the other 2 were defensive to balance that out somewhat. If I want to pick a bulky one to start with, I could make Arcanine the main man. I am going to need someone later on to be quicker than Arcanine and probably do a little bit more, as Joe used to call it, out-of-the-box power. Someone who doesn't need a lot of support, someone who can just self-sufficiently, and Starmie could operate in that as well if he wanted, later on down the chain. Super, thanks, JP. No, hang on, what's this?
JP sent me some Eevee nonsense.
Is JP masquerading as Salmona? What is this?
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll go back to you later. So we go for this core, which I think is great, and we've covered all 3. The secondary core is a lot more of an offensive core, looking at pure numbers.
Yep.
Cavalion, yes, is the only one who offers any sort of defense. Although typing wise, not amazing, pretty good with steel. Anything with steel is pretty good. But Latios and Mimikyu are offensive threats. Ghost, Fairy, and Dragon Psychic, all pretty good offensive types to have as coverage. it's a good team without the moves and stuff. I can't know what it was going to do, but I can guess that these two were going to be bulky, as Weber said. And then Cobalion was going to be a bulky attacker. Mimikyu's a weird one. Mimikyu's stats might not look amazing, but Mimikyu's ability is unique. Again, it can come in and always live one hit, no matter what. So because of that, it can boost one of its stats, no matter what.
With Sword Dance, yeah.
And therefore, it's normally Sword Dance. I think I've seen a speedy one though. Therefore the numbers are sort of not entirely representative. As is Toxapex. Toxapex is an acquired taste. I'm coming around to the idea that Toxapex is cute. Mainly just because it annoys Ray, because it's a better Slowbro.
It's not a better Slowbro.
Mimikyu provided Ghost cover for the first core, and then Fairy for the second. Ghost cover for the first core?
Well, Ghost is weak to Dark, so it's another knockoff weakness. But then Mimikyu's part Fairy, so it's neutral.
Oh, you mean because Starmie's weak to Ghost? Starmie's weak to Ghost, and therefore Mimikyu is...
No, Ghost is weak to... So actually, Ghost is... There are actually, if that's a problem with this team, if we look at types, there are 3 Ghost weaknesses, right, in Latios,
Yes.
Starmie, and Mimikyu. Because Psychic and Ghost are both weak to Ghost.
Yeah, and so for that reason, I don't know if I'd have picked... If I'm looking for defense, I wouldn't have picked...
It has a lot of hallmarks of a very good team.
Definitely.
And like I've said, there are worse ways to construct a team than just going for units of 2 or 3 Pokemon who perfectly cover one another. And either by accident or design, you've ended up with things that fill the various roles, right? We've got Special Sweeper Starmie, Physical Sweeper Mimikyu, and another Special Sweeper in Latios. So it's quite an offensive team. And then we're kind of relying on Arcanine Venusaur for bulk, and then Cobalion kind of in the middle. This is why I'm here, says Webb. Yeah, building teams is hard, as you've just witnessed by the monstrosity we've had. But it only needs small tweaks, right?
I'm not even saying Mimikyu is bad. I'm just saying if you go by what we were saying earlier about only having ideally two weaknesses shared on a team of 6.
I would from this team say the Latios is the most
drop
redundant.
the Latios, yeah.
And I think we said this before when Starmie was in tier 1. We said you'd just have a Latios instead because Latios is a better Starmie. That kind of is something you're filling.
Rude.
They're both filling the same niche.
Yeah.
And therefore having both is kind of redundant to an extent, right?
Yes, I would agree with that. And therefore, if you wanted,
you wouldn't have Venusaur and Amoonguss. Either great. Both overkill.
So if it was me, it would be a Ghost Immune Dragon. Let's fill out all of these problems in one go.
Did you just take a Latios off the team and put on a Drampa?
Yes, I did. And Wes will thank me for it when his Starmie's not getting Shadow Slut.
All right, Swanner man. This team's looking too good. It needs a dose of Drampa.
He'd never have got a Venusaur and a Latios from the same draft squad. I'm helping him man out.
For a draft squad, that would actually be, that would be very, very, very hard to get.
So there's that. Do we have Tanya's or...
I think so.
Becky's? I don't know what...
Tab's granddad. Come on, Drampa.
What is this?
You might minimise the chat. That's a chat with JP.
He's talking a lot of rubbish.
I think Tanya might have sent me a message as well.
Crazy.
Oh, no, it's just JP again.
JP, why have you sent us an Eevee team? And is it actually someone's team?
Presumably it's his team. JP loves his Eevees. We know that.
No, I've got no problem with an Eevee team in theory, but for this...
We know that from his extravaganza video. It really helps to put the team into website for checking weaknesses.
Oh, for the Maryland. Yeah, there is... Was it Maryland?
Is it Maryland, Ed, or do you know of a newer one?
Oh, yeah, that's the one I would have used in the old days.
Maryland Team Builder. Don't know if it's still going, is it?
What, you reckon he stopped playing the game? Was it Sweeper Calc? Is that what we used?
Sweeper Calc definitely got shut down at some point.
Oh, did
that
it?
was great. Yeah, that was definitely defunct.
Otherwise, some nice guy might have made an Excel document which you could use. There's that as well.
There is Dom's Excel, but they're all fun. Why don't you tell us what you do use, Ed? Come on. Oh.
Tanya's put hers in the...
But yes, so one of the aims of Dom's spreadsheet, we're working on a draft version of the Prep-O-Matic, and it will include Pokemon's most common roles and kind of best stats that they'll be tagged with, so you'll be able to search them up kind of mid-draft. It will also be like the Maryland Team Builder, but it will go up to Spinal Tap reference, it'll go up to 11.
It will go up to 11.
Because you'll be able to put kind of all the Pokemon that you draft into it, and it'll tell you if any of them double up on weaknesses. Has that worked?
It doesn't like it because there's spaces. Is this stupid? Tell me now if it's stupid.
I'd say it's a little stupid. No, it's probably...
It is working.
It is
it's
working.
Just slow as fuck.
Okay. Okay, so maybe, Tanya, then, if we're going to have a quick look at your team, maybe you can tell us what was going through your mind, and we'll try and give some salient kind of advice. Because this stuff is really hard, right? Especially when you don't know what all the moves and items do, and you're kind of guessing blind.
It's well, I don't know about hard. I get the complaint about how it can be longer than people want it to be. I don't think any of it is difficult. It's just if you try and narrow yourself using the filter thing as much as possible, and if you keep looking at yourself using the type charts, and only look at yourself as that list, I think you can do better. It isn't accepted OU, which I know is what you use. It's not using OU, I think, because Blaziken is Uber. It's not, which is technically a set above OU because it's so good. Although your particular Blaziken has not got the ability that would make it so good. That is why. So let's just look at it before we talk about having a go on the Deoxys is Uber as well. So first we went for Charizard, and you've gone for Mega Charizard Y, which is great and fantastic. Mega Charizard Y, for those who don't know, is one of the new Mega Evolutions. Charizard's got two. One of them turns it part Dragon. This is the other one that leaves its typing alone, but makes its stats amazing, and makes its ability setting up the sun in counterpoint to Swannow's the Rain, which is like boosting Charizard immediately already. So you're trying to get a spread of different uses, so like some for attack and some defense. So when I look at Charizard, different uses. Yeah, attack stat is good, 104, but your special attack stat is that much higher. So for Mega Charizard Y, I'd be tempted to change your Charizard spent somewhat to be a specially focused one. There is, we discussed this with a long dead friend of ours now, Chris Jennings, who used to try and build mons that would sort of compensate for their weaknesses.
He'd aim to mitigate weaknesses rather than accentuate strengths.
Yeah.
That's kind of the wrong approach most of the time.
Almost always what you would prefer to do is accentuate the strengths, as Ray says, and in this case, that would be the special attack, not the attack. So I would change. I think the coverage, I think Charizard might have options. You do have Focus Blast instead of Seismic Toss. Earthquake we might not be able to do. Flamethrower is special already, and Focus Punch you've got 2 fighting type moves, which maybe you don't need. I would say 1 is plenty. So I might make one of them Dragon Pulse for that dragon coverage. And then Earthquake's not the end of the world, but I'd probably want Dual Stab. So I'd go Air Slash.
Yeah, so just I think you had the right idea there, Tanya.
Yeah.
So going fast, great idea. Charizard wants to be fast as possible. I think just like Dom says, Charizard's physical attack is good, but its special attack is better. So we probably want to go for that and take advantage. YouTube chat might block Link said. I don't know.
Maybe it does.
You might have to whack it in the Pokemon group, or you can message it to me and see if I can post it as the chat admin or something. But nothing's come through. We thought you were keeping your secrets to yourself, but no, he's trying to be good guy Ed, as always.
You'll never know where his knowledge comes from.
Yeah, so you kind of want to emphasize the stats that are already big, special attack, quite a bit bigger than attack. And then it's a case of choosing the right moves. So they do have...
I've changed them now, sorry.
Yeah, we've changed them now, but they have this explosion symbol is physical moves. This swirly symbol is special
she
moves.
picked the right moves for the stats she'd invested in,
Actually, okay.
But she'd invested in physical attack.
Okay, I thought I saw some of each. Generally, you want to focus on one side of the moves, and then there's no nature in there. I will cover this, and my video will make it really simple.
Oh, I just added it, but I didn't add the minus, which doesn't give it a nature.
If you put a plus in one box, minus in another, we're boosting one stat at the cost of another.
I'm going to put 4 here.
and we end up with a decent chart.
I know that was a physical special. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And again, it's all very well, and I know on your actual video you would have the pictures.
Yeah.
But so far it's only ever been described what the pictures look like.
Yeah,
Until I did this on our very poor resolution screen, it was hard to know what they were.
No. Yep, the real version will have pictures. Visual element is very important for learning.
So Blaziken is this is a physical item. It's got all physical moves, and it's been invested physically. I don't see that much wrong with this Blaziken, apart from the fact that it's banned for being OP, and therefore you'd never be able to play with it. Also, in terms of what it's offering your Charizard in terms of coverage, because they're both fire types, they're sort of doing the same job. Anything that Charizard can kill, Blaziken can kill, and vice versa. But Charizard will almost definitely do it better than this particular Blaziken. So what you sort of would rather have on this team is counterpoint Charizard. One of Charizard's many weaknesses is Rock. So a fighting type, yes, I would agree, but not a fire fighting type. Otherwise, you're duplicating on your fire.
Yeah, and so EVs are pretty nice.
You don't need 4 special attack because
you use the recommended one.
No, you haven't.
The only thing I would say is that annoyingly, some moves can be deceptive, and I would always check the extra text on a move. Don't make Stu's synchronized mistake. So Seismic Toss, it is a fighting type move, so you might think it's a good stab move. If you look at it, however, it's got a dash in its power, and its extra text says does damage equal to the user's level. So this is a weird move that always does a set amount of damage, 100 damage, which isn't great. It has its uses. What you want to use, well, maybe you can guess when you might want to use a move that does a set amount of damage. If your attack is very low, if you're a Pokemon like Blissey uses Seismic Toss a lot, if your attack is very low, then a flat 100 damage, you'll take that. You'll take a flat payout. If your attack is high, you want a percentage payout.
You'd rather use your attack.
You'd rather use your own attack, and you'd rather have a more powerful fighting type move.
Something else I would say, because obviously Seismic Toss and Low Sweep are both fighting type moves. This is probably not entirely accurate from the team that I built. Probably I should have mentioned. Broadly speaking, we only want to have one move per type to maximize our type coverage. If we have 2 fire moves, one of them better be amazing and have so many more benefits over the other, or perhaps drawbacks, and I don't want to use it all that often to justify why I would ever want to click one move over the other. Otherwise, if I've got Flamethrower and Fire Blast on the same team, on the same Pokemon, when is there ever really a reason for me to click one over the other? And in this case, 2 fighting type moves and a Blaziken is probably redundant. The Low Sweep is good. Maybe another fighting type move is sort of, unnecessary. So 1 is plenty. Low Sweep is fine. It lowers speed. If you wanted more powerful fighting type moves, I'm sure Blaziken gets more powerful ones than that. But if you, for whatever reason, wanted the extra ability on Low Sweep, which is that it slows things down, and you're worried about one of your opponents having a particularly fast Pokemon, then Low Sweep is a justified move to use. On to the Steelix before we look at Ed's thing. Stealth Rock, fantastic, because we keep talking about it, makes sense. Iron Head is fantastic steel stab. Dig is fine, apart from you haven't discussed it in terms of your lecture. There's another big lecture coming on this one as well. The ability to switch in and out. Because Dig, like in the original Pokemon games, is one of those ones where you duck down first and everybody else knows that's what you've done. Then they can very easily switch to something in that turn while you're underground not doing anything, to something that either is completely immune to your Dig or something that just resists it and takes no damage. So Ground Stab is still something we definitely want to have, and unfortunately, following the pack, Earthquake is always the best ground move.
I mean, there's also the very simple check of if you look at these numbers labeled power, that is a mathematical description of how much damage you're going to do. So Dig is 80 power, Earthquake is 100. Dig is only 80% as powerful as Earthquake. And if you read the extra text, Dig says Dig's underground turn 1, strikes turn 2, like Don was talking about, means it takes an extra go to happen. Earthquake just does double damage.
Just happens, and has more damage.
100 power, 100 accuracy. Same as one of your types.
And then
Great move to have.
Explosion is interesting. Explosion kills you, always.
Yeah.
It does a lot of damage back. It doesn't do as much damage as it used to.
You can see the 250 power. That is a powerful move.
It is a powerful move. You don't have stab on it because we're not the normal type. It's fine. What are you up to?
I'm just popping the things into here as we.
Well, it's distracting me.
Sorry.
An explosion is a big bang, which we may or may not want. Yeah, go out with a bang. The opponent faints. Yeah, no, you faint. The user faints. You will hit the other guy on the other side with that 250 damage, which may or may not be enough to kill them. You might trade. That might be worth it. And then finally, the one thing I would say is your ability Rock Head does not take recoil damage. You might have been thinking that works really well with Explosion, but Rock Head I think is only for really niche moves, which Steelix gets a handful, but by no means all of them, and therefore Sturdy, which is if you're at full HP, you can survive with one hit, is probably better for this particular build. Sheer Force is not bad, where everything is a bit more powerful, but you have no hidden effects, because your moves don't have, where Iron Head has the hidden effect of flinching, but only if you go first. So unlikely, you're a really, really slow Steelix. So I'd probably
Getting
go.
a bit complex there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If abilities won't change, then that's fine. That's just a heads up. But otherwise, yeah, perfectly good. Steelix, you've gone for max HP, max attack, fine.
So looking at Steelix's stats, we can see it's a kind of physical wall
Mhm.
with that giant defense and HP.
Again, might have been the.
It is unfortunately a third water weakness.
It is a third walk, no weakness, lots of echoing. I don't know what to tell you apart from that's the internet's fault. We have to keep talking so they can tell us when it stops.
Yeah.
They might not like it. We'll
Blame it
echo
on the net.
until then, but
No, don't be sorry.
don't be sorry. It's
We're
not
sorry.
it's not your fault. It's ours. But
We're
let us
sorry.
know.
We're sorry.
It stopped now. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Shut up. I think in this team the Blaziken shouldn't be there. So yes, you have an extra water weakness, but the Blaziken is uber anyway, and as we've established, by having two fire types, it's unnecessary. We'll close that door as well because that's where the noise is coming from. Alright. Vileplume. Oh, this Vileplume's awesome. Rocky Helmet Vileplume. If the holder is hit by a contact move, then they'll lose some damage. This is usually on physically defensive things, because if you're going to be taking contact moves, i.e. physical moves, you probably want to have physical defense to back it up. Your particular Vileplume is not invested that way. It could be. Oddish is your favourite Pokemon. I know, and despite what Ray says about Karen, you can win with your favourites. It is possible. However, you want to make sure you go to their strengths, as we were saying. So special attack is all very well investing like that, but you should probably build everything that way. So if you're going for all-out defense on a Vileplume, rather than Rocky Helmet, you might want... Karen even has a Vileplume. That's not wrong. We would probably go for that niche poison version of Leftovers that I used earlier, if we're going for health in Black Sludge.
If you're going defensive, yeah. Although she's right in that special attack is its best stat.
Yeah, well in that case you would change Rocky Helmet.
Who is Karen?
Karen is an in-game reference.
Never mind.
Don't worry about it.
She's a member of the Elite Four in Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Yeah, she's from the games from whatever it is, 1999. Rocky Helmet. So yeah,
One
okay.
of the original Pokemon waifus.
It's a defensive item on an offensive built Vileplume. So my point is with Vileplume stats, you could build either way. Yeah, okay. Tanya's invested in special attack, so let's change the item then.
And I'm going to go into this. I mean, it's quite simple. I'm going to cover this in my hopefully only 10-minute item video, where I'm just going to basically narrow down which roles almost always want which items.
Yeah, that works.
So offensive Pokemon almost always want Life Orb or a choice item. Unless they're bulky attackers. Yeah, I kind of break down the roles and say what items they want. So Vileplume has very high special attack. Correctly identified, well done. What it does have is very slow speed. So the problem with boosting speed, like you've done there, you've got kind of the right idea. It's got high special attack. It should be powerful. But 50 speed is so low that even if Vileplume trains as hard as it possibly can, it's not going to lengthen those tiny legs. And it's always going to be slow. Yeah. In which case, its next best stat is HP. So if I were building this Vileplume, I would do what Dom's just done. I would put the EVs in HP and go for this as a bulky attacker Vileplume. And that's one of the roles that I mentioned in my role and stats video. Yeah, I recommend it obviously because I made it, but that's something I cover. That's one of the roles is bulky attacker.
This is
when
what
you've
I'm
got the damage, but you're like Ed said. Ed said something really brilliant and kind of made me think, God, this should have been in my video from the beginning. Every Pokemon either wants to be fast and powerful enough. You either want to punch the other guy out before he hits you back,
Yeah.
or you want to be you want to be solid enough to take a punch yourself and then hit them back.
Yeah.
So you either need power and speed, or you need bulk.
Yeah.
Vileplume has power but not speed, so it's always going to go second. It therefore needs that flab so that it can take a hit and be okay going second.
And because being a grass poison type, you have again identified it gets access to some nice statuses. I keep Stunspore on there for the paralysis. That's nice. I like it. Poison powder. This is purely a knowledge thing. There is a better way of poisoning your opponent than poison powder, and that's toxic, which, as you mentioned, I think in your thing, Ray, does more damage over and over and over again.
I haven't really covered that yet, but I will do.
Yeah, it's basically it exponentially gets worse for them if you poison them with toxic than if you use poison powder, which is just flat. Grass knot is a bit like the
Seismic toss.
similar. Yeah, it's worked out on, and Ed will correct me if I'm wrong. It's your relative size, so it's.
I don't know if it is. I think that's.
Am I thinking of the old one?
Heavy Slam takes your size and their size into account.
Right.
Grass Knot just takes in their weight.
Okay.
But these are, again, it's another niche subset of moves.
Point.
Basically, what I would take away from this is look under power for your move first.
And if there's
if
dash,
it has a dash,
worry.
read what the text says and be worried. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go, here's one that's 90.
90 power, great.
90's fine.
So we can either go with that or Giga Drain.
Giga Drain
Some health
75,
back.
which gives us health back, which might be better for a Vileplume. We'll stick around longer, as you pointed out. Hidden Power Rock, as we established, a special attacker can have any coverage from the hidden powers. Rock is fine if you think a fire type is coming in.
Lets you tussle with fire types.
Let's keep
Not going
Rock
to be the
there.
greatest move, but it's there.
And Stunspore has the paralysis, which is fine as well.
Although you can't. Each Pokemon can only have one status on it at a time.
Yes.
Which means you very rarely want more than one status move. Sometimes you do, but
Double status is a thing because a lot of people will think we have revealed you're running this status over this status. Therefore, if I know I'm going to be against someone with all fat Pokemon, Grass Knot would be good. The whole idea of weight, which only applies to Grass Knot and low kick, is so niche that it's very, very rarely worth looking into how heavy things are. Sometimes you want to look at how heavy things are, but very, very rarely. Otherwise, I just
if you're up against someone else
never
with a
use
Steelix,
them.
maybe.
Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, I would ignore it. Again, this is what I mean about there's so many niche cases and niche cases. Most of the time, look at the power of the move, look at the type. Yeah. In 2% of cases, Grass Knot would be the optimum play, but
I think because
there's not much in it.
As we've explained, what this basically all boils down to is numbers, and there are several calculator websites that will show you could get 2% more damage only on Steelix and only in that particular example. Most of the time, you'd rather know how much damage you're dealing rather than leave it up to whatever they happen to send out. Because also, you could aim for that Steelix and they swap out to something else.
Yeah.
Bring one dinner and let them fight each other instead. I don't know what that's talking about.
Maybe that's not meant for us.
Okay. Different, wrong chat. Frogadier. Interesting. Frogadier is...
Oh, she means for the team full of fat Pokemon.
Oh, how they can fight by all fighting over one dinner. Nice. Okay, I get it now. God, that's slow.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
I know I'm looking at the time, yeah, and I'm wrapping it up. So, Frogadier is great. It is technically available. I don't know. Do we have it? No, we've probably banned it along with everything else, have we?
Don't know.
Just in case you get any ideas, we're probably going to ban it.
It's the lower evolved form of Greninja, which you may have had and then changed to this when we said Greninja was banned. I don't know.
Yeah.
But pretty much...
You pretty much can't use it.
Barring a few exceptions, fully evolved Pokemon are always the best.
Yes.
So Frogadier evolves into Greninja, which is one of the best Pokemon in the game. in our particular league, it's been banned because it's so good, especially in draft.
Yeah.
Because it has access. Well, you can use my Pokemon evaluation video to work out for yourselves why Greninja is good. You can take those tools, you can look at its type, you can look at its stats, you can look at its move pool and its ability.
It's banned because of its abilities. That's why.
It also has great stats.
It does have great stats, yeah. But also its ability. But the main thing I would
on my list in brackets.
The main thing I would critique about this is you have 3 water type moves. Again, going back to my earlier point, when are you ever going to click Water Pulse when Scald does 20 more damage and has a chance to burn? You have a smaller chance to confuse after doing less damage. Realistically, you'll never click Water Pulse. So
yeah,
no
again, just look at the type and look at the numbers. If you've got a move of the same type that has bigger numbers, then the move of that, the one with smaller numbers is redundant.
The Hydro Pump is an interesting one. I don't think you'll ever want to run both. There has been times where we ran a couple, didn't we? Had Thunder was 110 and 70% accurate as our only electric move that didn't make us then run away on Manectric. There will be instances where you think, do you know what, I might as well go all out and just have the power. And that 110 is significantly higher than 80, which it is. I can see the appeal. But then similarly, you've got to have a good reason for wanting to, if it misses, you've done nothing, which is quite the dice to roll. Whereas Scald,
high risk, high reward.
It's reliable, yeah.
Scald is the opposite.
There are plenty of go big, go home moments where a Hydro Pump would make the difference in a match.
Yeah.
But no one is ever going to say, "Oh, you idiot! Why don't you run Hydro Pump?" Because no one likes to roll the dice. Because in Pokemon, those 80% and 70% accuracy moves always feel like they miss
They'll
more.
let you down
when you need them to. That's when they'll miss. So yeah.
So I'd say rule of thumb to take away from this teaching point. I would say
I have this.
The only time you ever want to run more than one attacking move of the same type is if one is kind of utility and one is damage. So we had Volt Switch, which is weaker but makes you swap, and we had Thunder, which is pure power. If they're both just pure power but one is more powerful,
when will you ever use the little powerful?
Yeah, it's just not worth. Yeah, it's a waste of move slots.
And then finally we have Deoxys, which you've given all offensive moves to.
Because of the Assault Vest.
Because of the Assault Vest, which I get. But then it hasn't been invested in the special defense, which is why I would invest in. But I probably wouldn't invest in physical attack if I had Psychic and Dark Pulse. So, yeah.
Just looking at its stats anyway, attack is among the lowest. And the defense, so just looking at roll, we've got huge defenses. It's even called Deoxys defense.
Yeah.
And then relatively low attacking stats. So pumping those up isn't necessarily worth it. We're more likely to want HP and a defense and something else. Because remember, we always want HP these before defense ones. I don't even know what happened here. That's fine. That's fine.
Absolutely fine. And I would.
I don't know how we ended up with a Swanner on the team, but it happened.
You don't want Assault Vest on this because, as we've established, your offensive moves aren't all that, and this is a very utility heavy mon. You wouldn't have many damage dealing moves on this anyway because you can do a lot more damage by annoying them with things like knockoff is fine, not for the damage it does, but because it will remove their item. That's fine. I'll put that in the last slot. What else do we get? Recover for health, that's fine. Seismic Toss might even be fine for state, and maybe Stealth Rock. Seismic, this might be a better. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that in terms of your building on the weaknesses in that, what do they call it? Bottom up, top down. Bottom up. Boy.
Ed calls your approach bottom up because you start with a thing and then build.
Yeah, if you started with Mega Charizard, I wouldn't have gone to Blaziken, and then because I wouldn't have gone to Blaziken, I wouldn't have gone to the Steelix. But I think the core of a Fire, Water, Grass is there if Frogadier was a bulky water. And I think that Steelix is an entry hazard setter with Stealth Rock. to assist in Charizard coming in later on. So that idea is solid. It just needs to be built with things that, and this is my fault for not saying we never go to the Uber stuff. But as a general rule of thumb, it's all too powerful for the rest of us to have fun. Basically, it's not fun when everything's that broken. So we wouldn't have Deoxys because those defensive stats are not fun to play against. If someone's got that, you just take 500 turns. And Blaziken normally would be speed boost, and therefore every time you don't kill it, it gets faster and faster until nothing can outspeed it and it kills you.
Love me some Blaziken.
And Frogadier, its evolved form is similarly broken. And so we banish these things to Uber, and we never have to think about them. So as it happens, you've pulled some of those, so it's a tougher team to critique from that viewpoint. But it's, say the core ideas are there. Charizard needs help in finishing stuff off when it comes in later on. It has massive power, but in the cases where its massive power is not going to be enough, get those stealth rocks down there, get some poison going. Great.
Yeah, what I would say is, I think for now, people, if you want to practice and you want to improve your team building, I would focus on this idea of finding 2 or 3, maybe even expand it to 4 things that work together. 6, I think, is quite a big ask to begin with. And I think it can, if you bring 6 things together, you can kind of end up with accidental synergy and such like, or accidental, extra weaknesses. I think if you focus for now on find 1 or 2 things you like, so like your Vileplume, and then try and find another 2 or maybe 3 Pokemon that really complement that. Look up everything Vileplume's weak to, work out what Vileplume's best at, and say, okay, what teammates does it need? It's a bulky special attacker. It's gonna.
And I would say in the oh bless you, in the spirit of mentorship, once you find those 2 or 3, pop them up on the wall, and everyone can chime in and explain either why they're great or why if there's a double up of weaknesses or something like that.
I think what would be really great to come out of this is if everyone decides on a couple of Pokemon they might like to build a core or team around. We as a group can then suggest things that will work well together and replacements for those things. And then you've got the beginning of a draft list. Yeah. That's how all my draft lists start. I go, Mega Venusaur. What works with it? Jirachi. Okay,
yeah.
If I can't get Jirachi, Heatran just as good. Maybe another steel type. Okay, I could take Skarmory. I don't like it as much. And, you kind of work out.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more you realize that, the same kinds of things tend to lump together, which is how we end up with these fire, water, grass things. You go Charizard, it probably needs a water type in there somewhere.
Yeah, as Wev has gone, I know I'll need the 2 cores, therefore I can build that way, and it works. You're it's a pretty safe bet to build that way. But then on the other hand, my Salamence team didn't have a traditional core.
No, it did not.
It was great.
It almost won a game against a similarly oddball team.
I get extra points for that.
We got a couple of Moxie KOs.
Yeah. With that, I'm going to bring this lesson to a close because it's mine and I can. And it's gone on far too long.
Yeah, it's gone on
longer than I expected.
Than we thought.
And we were late starting.
Sorry, gang.
Any questions? Please ping either Ray or you can ping me. I don't always answer, but I will.
Or just on the group wall is fine.
I'll make an effort.
The Hive Mind will answer.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope it's been some use. We were somewhat riffing off the top of our dicks.
We were, but I think
that was the idea.
But the point was not to have a pre-rehearsed. I'm ignoring you, JP, and your EV team. It's a lovely idea, but I'm not going to give it a serious thought. I'll have a look at it later. I'll let you know, JP. The problem with the EV team, and I think we asked this question before, is that you can't draft it, and B, the best version of it is banned, in fact.
Which was Baton Pass.
It was the Baton Pass team with Espeon at the end, and it was banned. But I love the originality as ever in the idea of a working. He
said in strangled tones.
A working post Baton Pass EV and I'll enjoy looking at it. But I'm going to wrap up. Thank you all very much for attending. And you're going to put up whatever the next thing is. We're doing a video. We're doing live. We'll take stock and then we'll schedule. We'll let you know.
There will be more first draft of my Pokemon 101 videos.
Cool.
I've got 2 more scripted and the PowerPoints made, and they just need me to record them. I'm hoping, as JP says, I'm going to chop them into smaller, digestible chunks. I'm really hoping those are going to be entry points for new players. I don't know. There's a lot of concepts to cover, and they all interrelate. It will click. It will make sense.
Yeah. The easiest thing is just to keep at it. Keep doing these, and eventually you'll twig.
Yeah,
That's how anyone learns, right? It's not hard. It's how much knowledge you know to look for, and how much you need to have in your head. And actually, the stuff you need to have in your head is actually quite small. You don't need to know that much in your head because you can. Everything else is a Google away. Once you know what to Google, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll let you know what the next step is, and if anybody wants to do another one of these, then let us know. I'm more than happy to do another one. Poor
Yeah.
internet be damned.
Yeah, maybe with better internet next time, and
Well,
more
we'll see.
concise format.
Let's not promise anything.
Okay, I really hope you guys got something out of this. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming. We will keep this up. We will get the practice league rumbling along in some form or another. We're thinking of maybe changing the format so that it's. We're kind of hoping. We hope that one good way to learn might be reducing complexity. I know Marion said that having 11 Pokemon to think about on a roster is really hard, and they make 6 in a team. But you pointed out that how you learned was watching a YouTuber play the format where you have a kind of roster of 6.
6 and pick 3.
And then you pick 3, and then there's only 3 Pokemon in battle. There's only 6 to worry about total. It just sort of reduces the amount of thinking you have to do. So maybe a format like that might be useful for people. We'll see. Have good weekends, guys.
Yeah.
We'll speak to you soon in some form or another. Webb says that sounds good. He's our favourite.
He is.
All right.
JP gets the gold star.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
See you, gang. Thanks.